Where the takes get loud and the truth get exposed. Let's talk about it. X-Rated Sports Network. If it's game time talk, we the ones who connect. X-Rated Sports Network. Where the hot takes live and the truth get checked. East Coast talk, West Coast swag. Stats on the board, yeah, the debate get louder.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of basketball. What is going on, everybody? It's Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. And your boys are here. Rick Hamlet, Dwight Walton, Dr. X, A.M. Pfeffer, Brandon Armstrong. Hopefully at some point it's going to fall in here. We got CP the Fanchise from Knicks Fan TV joining us. He's fantastic. I worked with him on Sirius XM. All Knicks fans know who he is. He's got one of the top podcasts. There is our guy. He will join us at 3 o'clock. He's under a little bit of a time crunch. We got about 20 minutes with CP the Fanchise. So get in and get in quick. Guys, we have a million topics to talk about, so let's dive in. And Dr. X, we got to get you talking about Wemby. Let me set it up here quickly. The question ultimately will be, are the Spurs in trouble? Okay, Mitch Johnson said Victor went into the concussion protocol, 48-hour minimum recovery period. Once you're in the protocol, Spurs play game 3 in Portland on Friday. Kevin O'Connor, great NBA reporter, put out the average NBA recovery time for a concussion is 7 to 10 days. 7 days would be game 5. 10 days would be game 7. I don't think any of us think that it's going to go that long, but it's a concussion. They can be a little bit unpredictable. And we just got an update moments ago from ESPN. Wemby flew with the team to Portland. The team has not ruled him out for game 3. And Mitch Johnson says he looks good and is progressing for whatever that's worth. So Dr. X, you first here, man. Talk to us about your evaluation on Wemby. And do you think the Spurs are in trouble?
Well, I would say this. I had another team on my list for upset alerts, and I chose not to put them there because I do believe in Wemby's mentality and his, defensive player of the year and just the way the others play around them and his way to galvanize the team. But I saw Portland looking pretty tough, and with Drew Holiday there, that was a possibility. So yes, the Spurs are in trouble if Wemby doesn't come back, as we saw in the game that he fell and knocked his face and had a concussion, and he was out pretty much from the first quarter onward, and that was a struggle for them. But I'll say this in terms of like concussions are pretty tough. Like back in the '80s with the NFL, these quarterbacks would literally come back same game. There was no time off. There was they would just. But with all the research now with traumatic brain injuries, it's better that the player go through the protocol. However, with that, there's a lot of gray area, and a lot of the medical staff will ask certain questions, but we don't know if they're prepping him to say, hey, don't say you have a headache. Don't say you're nauseated. Don't say you're dizzy. Don't say you have sensitivity to light. Don't say these things because these are very subjective. However, if it's something else like an MRI that I'm sure he got an MRI and CT and it probably looked normal, then that's why he's flying with the team. That's why he ran to the locker room. That's why he's currently ramping up. So I believe they are going to allow him to play as long as he's okay. And he says he's okay. He will likely play on Friday. And the average time is 7 to 10 days, but that means that there's things that are under 7 days, which I think Wemby will be. I would say, to be generous, the latest he will come back is Sunday, but I think he will probably give it a go on Friday, maybe minutes restriction.
Wow. I don't disagree with any of that. Doc, you and I have been communicating a little bit about this, either in the group chat or just solo, but I'll go next. The Spurs are not in trouble here. I look at this as a blessing in disguise, and it sucks that our guy Wemby landed shin first. Seemed to be kind of out of it there for a minute, and it was a really violent fall and just awkward, right? Like how? Like right on your chin. It was just weird, man. But Wemby's coming back soon, like Doc said. I can't guarantee Friday. I have a feeling he's on the court on Friday, but who knows? They may be cautious. try to get a win without him. But this is one of those things where I wouldn't play you're getting cute, you're playing the long game. I mean, the guy landed on his chin. I mean, either he's fully cleared or he's not, right? And if he's not fully cleared, then he can't play. So I don't know about Friday. I agree. I think Sunday is the latest that he would come back. But to me, this is a blessing in disguise because now other dudes for game 2 unsuccessfully, and maybe they can go to Portland, maybe without Wemby, and get one of those breakthrough wins. But the short-term absence of Wemby is going to pay huge dividends, I believe, for De'Aaron Fox, Devin Vassell, and Stephon Castle. They can't rely on Wemby. If he's out, you got to do it yourselves. I mean, you've got a guy who could go down as the GOAT of all time. He might not play. It's on you now, bro. Okay? De'Aaron Fox, guys, has never won a playoff series. He needs this. Stephon Castle's played 2 playoff games. Devin Vassell's played 2 playoff games. They need this, frankly. A little pressure, right? Put you up to bat, center stage, slash with the top hat on, spotlight on you, give me a great guitar solo. Now, okay? The Spurs are going to win 1 out of 2 in Portland to me, maybe both, but they're not going to lose both. And the series will go maybe at least 6 games at this point, but I am not worried that the Spurs are going to take an L here to the Portland Trailblazers. Dwight Walton, are the San Antonio Spurs in trouble?
Well, fellas, I had the Spurs winning this series in 6 before the series started with a healthy Victor Wembanyama. Do I think the series goes the distance now? It's possible. I still think the Spurs will go on to win this series. It was going to be difficult either way. But what I don't like, and I know I make fun of you, Cam, and my cousin Phil on the group chat talking about how insensitive you are towards injuries. However, these concussions are very serious. And for us to just think he's going to play on Friday night, I think isn't the right thing to do. You have to remember, I know it's difficult for us as fans and media alike to take ourselves out of our own person and to put ourselves into somebody else. None of us know how Victor Wembanyama feels. All of us saw how woozy he looked on the floor, even when he stood up and ran to the locker room. I think he did that for the purpose of the cameras. I think he tried to tell himself that he's okay. We don't know the symptoms that he's having over these last couple of days. And quite frankly, I'm surprised that he was on the flight to Portland. Now, that being said, can he make a miraculous recovery and play in game 3? Of course. But we have to be able to separate ourselves from how we feel as opposed to how Victor Wembanyama feels. It's a head injury. It's a traumatic injury. It's a concussion. Normal protocol says you're out for at least a week. Now we want him to play in 3 days. We understand it's the urgency of the playoffs, and we want our stars to play. I get it. But I'll be very surprised if he plays in game 3. I'd be surprised a little if he plays in game 4. Now, the Blazers are a very good team. The Spurs are used to playing without Victor Wembanyama, but that was during the regular season. This is now the pressure of the playoffs. If you've been watching the defensive scheme of the Portland Trailblazers, they're daring Stephon Castle to shoot from the perimeter. Let's see how he now shines under those bright lights where the pressure is even more on him without his sidekick in Victor Wembanyama. The Blazers will win at least one of these games in Portland. Let's see how the Spurs react to that pressure. Can the Blazers stand prosperity? We'll see how that plays out. But we have to be more sensitive towards what Victor Wembanyama is going through with that concussion.
So before we go to AM and Noodles, and by the way, Noodles was out kicking it at a rave the other night and got all hungover and was all disheveled at work the next day. I laughed my butt off. You know, the glasses were all crooked and stuff. Okay, so I have a joke here. It's a question and a joke all embedded. And Dwight Walton is a part of the punchline here, okay? And Dwight, I love you. Follow me here. Which human being wants NBA players to play less? AM and Doc, Rick Celebrini or Dwight Walton?
Dwight Walton all the way.
Dwight Walton,
Yeah,
100 out
but
of
fella, hold
100.
on, but Cam,
DW.
hold on a second. I'm more realistic. It's just you guys think,
You're a
like I've
little
said on
too
the group chat.
realistic. You're more of a
No, hold on.
conservative.
Like I've said
We're
on the group
we're
chat.
liberals.
Unless you guys see the leg bend like Paul George and Sean Livingston, you guys think, you know what?
Sean Livingston's
Just get up
name
and
again.
play. Suck it up
I
and
know.
play. Come on now. That's
No,
not how it works.
that's more radical. That's on the radical side. We're more balanced. Rick and I are balanced. Like we
Balanced?
We're balanced.
understand.
On what?
We're
Yes,
balanced.
we understand the games that these guys are playing. Okay, trust me. And
And
that's
I
why
don't?
they're. No, you act like you don't. But if I were to corner you and it's just us on the phone, you'd be like, "Yo, trust me, I know what I'm just doing that to
No.
just bounce it out." So just stop, okay?
Okay, so listen. So based on that, when I'm right on Friday night, don't say nothing. I don't want to hear it.
I'm not saying you won't be right, but based off of your prediction, he's going to miss game 3, 4, and possibly 5.
Yes.
I'm saying the latest he comes back is the latest he'll be held out is until game 4. He'll play game 4, but
It's a
he's possible
concussion,
he might
Phil.
play game 3.
It's a
Dwight, I
concussion,
know.
man.
Klay Thompson had something like that too, and they you could just it's all based off the symptoms. They actually coach the players up on what to say and not what to say. So even if the league offers where to go there, he's not going to say I'm struggling with sensitivity to light because Friday night you might be okay, and then now you just missed the whole game. That symptom might have left by that time, so you just kind of play the game. That's why he's on the flight and all that good stuff. He'll be all right. Let's give him a thick headband. He'll be all right.
I love it. So
Right.
AM is Noodles. Is Noodles in need of some hydration today? Was she out kicking it last night at a rave in LA? What's going on here? Yeah, get her
I
some
got that water
hydration.
right here, right next to her. Absolutely. Get her a little straw, whatever she needs.
Dude,
man.
my homie was partying, man. She was drinking Jameson
was.
and all kind of stuff, man.
She was, but she's perked up now. But by the way, that's why I'm keeping her close. I got to keep an eye on her. You know what I'm saying? Make sure she might be concussed. I'm keeping her awake every third hour.
I love it. So AM, are the Spurs in trouble, man?
Oh, yes, they are in trouble. And let's keep piling on Dwight here for a second. Dwight, you spoke it into existence, my friend. You talked enough about Victor's got to stay healthy. Victor's got to stay healthy. Two games, guys, and it wasn't an arm or an elbow or a knee or a head. And stop putting Sean Livingston's injury in my mind. I'm asking you. I'm begging you. I asked you on the chain the other day to not do that, and you had to bring it up online here. Nobody needs to think about that one. That was not one of the better ones. Yes, they're in trouble. Victor went down in game 2, guys. This is what everyone was concerned about. And it's not necessarily that they're in trouble for the Blazers series. I ultimately think, and we all think, the Spurs are going to come out of this, but they needed to come out of it with the gentleman's victory, right? 4-1. That should be what it was. Now they've got to possibly go 6 or 7 games more than likely. That's not good for them moving forward. Regardless of Victor Wembanyama's health coming back from the head injury, because that's what this is, truly a head injury, and you never know where that's going. Just ask Tua. You don't want to have to play Denver going into or after 6 or 7 games. Let them get beat up by Minnesota. You needed to be fresh. And Victor Wembanyama needed to get through at least the first series without any type of injury, but here we are with a head injury in game 2. That spells trouble.
All right. Does Noodles agree with you, AM?
Noodles, what do you think? Yeah. Oh, yeah. She agrees. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
I got a vigorous yes.
Cam, if I can say something, Cam, I also want to acknowledge how well Scoot Henderson is playing. He is playing his tail off on both ends of the floor. He missed 50 games this season because of a hamstring injury. And he's come back with a vengeance. He's out. He wants to remind people that he was the 3rd pick of the Wembanyama draft after Wembanyama and Brandon Miller of the Charlotte Hornets. He's been sort of forgotten in that rookie class, but he has definitely had a coming out party in the play-in tournament, And now in these first 2 games of the NBA playoffs, he's going to be energized, galvanized. That team, that Blazers franchise, if they're in the playoffs, that fan base, that arena is as loud as any arena in the NBA. I look forward to these games in Portland, and that's why it's a dangerous proposition now for the Spurs without Wembanyama. Let's see how this thing plays out.
All right, guys. I may or may not have a little bit more on Scoot coming up in our breakout player segment, which is a few from now. Let's stay on the Spurs for a minute. Who should the Spurs number 1 be without Wemby? All right, let's just say he's going to miss Friday's game. I hope it's not the case, but it very likely could be. We saw a little bit of a toggle number 1 between Fox and Castle in game 2 after Wemby went out. I'll go first here. Who should be the Spurs number 1 without Wemby? I'm not asking who will be, okay? Because Fox, the standing and the money and all that guy, like who should be, right? Who would you draw plays for, late in the game and all that kind of stuff? My answer is Stephon Castle. I want more of Stephon Castle. I know the contract says Fox. Experience says Fox. Previous clutch award winner says Fox. Mitch Johnson may say Fox. But at the end of game 2, I found myself as a Spurs fan, side piece team, wanting Castle more than Fox. Castle's more of a badass. Castle's more of a dog. Castle's a better driver and finisher. And Castle has more ways to beat you, frankly. If De'Aaron Fox gets around the free throw line in the paint, that pull-up jumper's auto, okay? But he's got to get there, and the defense doesn't want him to get there because they know that too. Fox in game 1 shot 6 of 16. Castle in game 1 shot 7 of 20. But I want more of Stephon Castle. AM Pfeffer and Noodles, you go next on this one, man. Who should be the Spurs number 1 without Wemby?
Castle, because of everything you said, plus the defense. Not to mention, I think that there's plenty of people out there, plenty of voters who were like, does he belong on the 3rd team All-NBA this year? This year, in his 2nd year. Were they thinking that about De'Aaron Fox? No one was. Yeah, I've spoken many an episode about De'Aaron Fox and his upcoming extension in the contract, which should, to your point, Rick, make him the default obvious choice to have to go to. But for all the reasons you said, plus the defense, plus his dog. I mean, you talk about dog. Noodle's a dog. We're talking about the real Steph Castle dog, the NBA dog. That's who he really is. Castle all the way.
Noodles is kind of a dog. She gets petty, she gets swaggy, she gets pissy, she gets a little edgy. Like she is a dog. There's a dog in Noodles. So Dr. X, who should be the number 1 if Wemby can't play in game 3 and or game 4?
I think it should be Fox. I think he needs to prove why he wanted to go there so bad, and he's the all-star. He was the most clutch player of the year, the award that time. I think it was probably the first time they gave it out.
Correct.
He was the guy in Sacramento, and I believe he needs to kind of prove his worth at this point. Like he's kind of been taking a back seat. People haven't been saying much because everybody's collectively carrying the load with Devin Vassell, with Luke Cornett has stepped up big time as well. And then Champagny every other game, I guess he'll have a good shooting game. But I just feel like Castle, obviously, his main role is to be a two-way player. So you know what you're getting from him. If he hits 17 and is locking down the other player or making it hard for them, that's great. And that's what I expect from Castle. But it's a lot to ask for him to be the main scorer after playing all that defense. So I'm putting it on Fox. No excuses.
Okay, good call. Very good call. Dwight, what do we have here? You want Castle? You want Fox? You want somebody else? Like I'm go ahead.
It's an easy response, Rick. It's De'Aaron Fox. This is why they paid him. He is absolutely the second most important player in that franchise. This is why the Spurs paid him. Yes, they had a terrific draft with Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper, but the reality is Fox is now the go-to guy without Victor Wembanyama being there. He has all the accolades from the past. He has playoff experience. He went toe to toe for 7 games with Steph Curry, a couple of seasons ago. He's won the Clutch Player of the Year award already. This is what he's known for. He wants the ball in his hands. Yes, we could talk about how much of a dog Steph Castle is on both ends of the floor. Is he ready for the moment? I'm sure he thinks he is, but De'Aaron Fox has the experience of doing it. Fox, by default, will be the go-to guy for the Spurs until Wembanyama comes back.
I acknowledge that, Doc and Dwight, you're probably right. Me and Am are maybe a little early on this. It's a preference thing, but it's 2-2. And so we will see when the games are played. Hopefully this whole conversation gets flushed and Wemby plays. But anyway, let's move on. We got another injury, and I want to fire up Dr. X, one of the top sports medicine radiologists in the world, the XSN clinic, okay? And so put on your lab, take off your kick-ass leather, put on a lab coat, okay? Anyway, so the question is, we got to get into the Jaylen Williams injury, right? Will the Suns win this series with J-Dub on the show? Okay. Again, will the Suns win this series? They're down 0-2. Maybe this is a dumb question. You guys tell me. But if Jaylen Williams can't play the rest of the series, I don't know. Maybe it gets interesting. So, Doc, let me give you the setup here. Jaylen Williams suffered a left hamstring injury last night in the third quarter, did not return, all right? He played 33 games in the regular season. That's it. Missed 19 with the surgery on the wrist that he obviously played through to win the finals. We love that. Warrior stuff. And then missed 2 different extended stretches with a right hamstring. Mark Daigneault it was very confusing, and I had to do some serious vetting on this, all right? Daigneault said after the game he aggravated his hamstring. That's incorrect, okay? And I don't know if he was confused, lying. I don't know, okay? But he said aggravate, and he did not aggravate the hammy. He twice injured his right hamstring in the regular season, according to multiple reports. Not one, not AI. I went to articles, okay, for this one. AI for me is about 90%. AI typically gets the job done, but there's some broken eggs on the kitchen floor. All right. AI, get your act together. And I'm talking about Allen Iverson. So I don't know why Daigneault said that. All right, but this is absolutely crucial. Left hammy last night, twice right hammy in the regular season. Okay, the right hamstring is completely fine, right? Because he injured the left. We've heard nothing about it. Jaylen Williams has been killing it in both of these games so far, right? 19 points in 23 minutes last night before going out. So, Dr. X, you can talk to me about the injury, your expectations, all that kind of stuff. But the bottom line is, are the Suns now going to win this series and take the champs out now that J-Dub is looking very iffy for the rest of this series?
I doubt that very highly. I think they're going to play the game. Like, as long as the Suns don't win a game, Jaylen Williams probably won't be back for the rest of the series. So I feel like they're going to play game 3, game 4 without him and see what happens. And if anything, if they need him to come back, he'll likely be back maybe game 6 or game 7. Because it's a new hamstring, he has to get the MRI and see if it's a grade 1. If it's a grade 1, it could possibly be 10 days or under 10 days, depending how much they need him. But I feel like the other thing here is that he already has the right hamstring injury. And based off the biomechanics of a hamstring injury, you're going to be favoring the right, and that's probably what led to the left. And then now he's going to be favoring the left, which leads to now the new re-aggravation of the right, probably in round 2 against the Lakers or possibly the Rockets. So I just feel like we probably won't see J-Dub because I know that they've been successful playing without him. And the others, AJ Mitchell, and now you also have the Jared McCain playing. Did I say his name correctly?
Yeah.
I think I saw the right name in my head. Yes. So the addition of that, and then Caruso back, Hartenstein back, they're just deep. So I just feel like, with that said, they don't need J-Dub to beat the Suns. and I don't think they need him to beat the Lakers or the Houston Rockets. So, honestly speaking, you may not see J Dub probably until late into the second round, if that. And it might just be you see him in the Western Conference Finals again. But I think he could play if he needed to. So they're
Man,
not in trouble.
great answer.
They're good.
Understood. Now, so and what you just said is in alignment with how OKC treated Jaylen Williams, because they were talking on the broadcast last night. There were times where he thought maybe he could come back, but the team was winning without him, didn't want to push it, and they just played the long game to get him to the playoffs. All of that, worked. You won the league, and he's healthy and killing it, and then bam, doing, another soft tissue injury. We wish J-Dub well. We love him around here. Not a chance. OKC is completely fine. The Suns are not coming back to win this series, okay? OKC is going to win this series in 5 games tops, all right? Maybe, Phoenix gets one of these games. I don't know. If the Suns had Mark Williams, Grayson Allen, and or Jordan Goodwin, I might have a different answer, but they don't, okay? Like the Suns, full strength. Like, you know what I'm saying? They can't go at the big boys without 3 rotational guys. They can't. That's death. That's game over. Booker, Green, and Brooks are not enough to win 4 of the next 5 against the champs. And guys, I got some stats for you that are very, very heady. I like heady stats. I'm a deadhead. We do heady things, all right? The Oklahoma City Thunder were 39-10 in games without J-Dub this year. 39-10. That's staggering, man. That's a winning percentage of 796. I know what you're thinking. Wait, is that better? Yes. Yes. They were better without J-Dub. I'm not saying they need to ship him out. The statistics say they were better without J-Dub. Their overall winning percentage for the season was 780. Their winning percentage without J-Dub was 796. Staggering. I would not have guessed that, okay? A.J. Mitchell, in my opinion, is a star in the making. He is a starter in this league, okay? He is a 20-point-per-game guy in this league right now, given the opportunity and the shots and the usage rate. The guy's a big-time player masquerading as a role player on the champs. A.J. could have won 6, man. I shouldn't say would have. By the way, Jaime Jaquez got robbed by the voters. Okay, 15-5-5, killed it off the Miami bench. And I'm a Keldon Johnson fan, but no. Y'all screwed that one up. Jaime Jaquez got robbed, okay? Good thing his sister won the chip. At least they got something out of this thing. Caruso's going to step up. Doc Hardy, Gabriela Jaquez, by the way, one of the top picks in the Dub draft. Guys, let's do a WNBA fantasy league. More on that to come. Okay, good.
Dwight has to play, though. Dwight has to play. He's all about the WNBA, so play fantasy, Dwight. Come on.
Dwight.
All right, we'll see.
Dwight.
We'll see.
Dwight. Let me tell you something. So a WNBA draft it's a 6-team league, right? There's 15 in the WNBA. So ESPN leagues, you have 6 teams in your league. So it's really easy to assemble a badass team. I did a draft last night. I got Nafisa Collier in the 3rd round. These idiots, they just handed me a trophy. I mean, are they kidding me out here? Are they kidding me? So, Dwight, if you just go chalky and just take players like it's not going to go so deep that you're like, oh my God, I don't know who any of these, and I know you know the league very, very well. All right, so more on that coming up here. And I have a bonus take for you guys. Just one quick last bonus take. The J-Dub injury is an example of why I'm not picking OKC to win it all. I've told you guys this. You can't go through a regular season with like your full group together for like 3 minutes, okay? Hartenstein missed games. Caruso missed games. J-Dub missed a million games. Chet missed some games, but had a really, really good year. A.J. Mitchell missed a bunch of games, right? And so you really haven't had the thing all humming together at the same time. Has it mattered? No. But when you get to the playoffs eventually, that will matter, okay? And I'm nitpicking here, but I don't have the champs repeating. I haven't for most of the year. And so this is an example and a symptom of why. And if J-Dub cannot play against the Lakers in round 2, I'm probably going to pick the purple and gold to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. Table that prediction for a show about a week from now. AM Thepper, do you see the Phoenix Suns coming back and beating the Thunder without J-Dub, and then kind of talk about the injury and how you see this impacting the champs?
My God, you just put so much in my head to talk about. No, I don't
100%.
see the Suns coming. coming back to talk. You also just literally talked about how the Oklahoma City Thunder were 800. They were batting 800 without J-Dub for the season, but that's a problem all of a sudden come playoff time. By the way, you know whose name we didn't mention, who's had 2 very good games in a row and will be second team All-NBA this year? Chet Holmgren, who's extremely effective in both of these games. Like, what are we talking about? The Suns have coming back, and it's more than likely, even without Jay Williams, that 4-0 is what Oklahoma City ends up with this series, and they're well rested for whoever they're going to play in the second round. But that being said, I am like as blue, as depressed as any injury that's out there, even more than Wembanyama. I wanted J-Dub to be healthy. This team is so good. I never came off Oklahoma City winning the chip. I'm still not coming off them winning the chip, even with him down. But like, yeah, to your point, and you made a great one about what Dagnall said and misspoke about it. And he also said something interesting. There was a tail end to this where he also said, we'll check it in a couple of days. What? How about like 5 minutes after the game is over, check and see what's going on and check in every 5 minutes and then have Noodles check in every hour? Like, what do you mean you're checking in a couple of days and see how it is and seeing what's going on with the injury? That was a weird thing. 2 back-to-back weird things he said. I'm not with it, but I'm also not worried about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Holmgren's playing great. Dort is playing well. AJ Mitchell is a star and a starter in this league. Everybody, top to bottom, you see what they do. You see what happens with Oklahoma City when they step up and they want to play defensively. They were lying in wait. But when they are clicking on all cylinders, which is what they're going to do through the rest of this playoffs, and they know what they have to do because they've been there before, not worried about them one bit. But I am depressed. I am blue. Somebody check on me every once in a while. I'm very upset J-Dub got hurt. He's really that special. And to see him come back and how he was playing the last month of the season, it hurts. It hurts to see him go down. He's that good.
Yeah, injuries suck, man. Worst part of sports by far. I mean, Doc's created an empire on it, but that he had to do what he had to do, man. Sports medicine radiologist Dwight Walton. Could you see Phoenix coming back and beating OKC here without J-Dub, and then like overall impact on the team here for the J-Dub injury?
I can see the Suns having some confidence going back home to play in Phoenix. They did cut the lead to 10 last night, just under 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Was that a result of the Thunder taking the foot off the gas and the Suns just making some shots towards the end? They immediately come out of the timeout. SGA gets 2 feet in the paint, sprays the ball out to the short corner to AJ Mitchell, knocks down a 3. In essence, ends the run, ends the comeback attempt by the Phoenix Suns. Of course, anytime a team loses one of their main players, it will have an effect, even on the Oklahoma City Thunder. But to your point, Rick, when you go 39-10 without your second best player, you're pretty comfortable playing without your second best player. That being said, I'm like, is Aaron Wiggins hurt? Has he played in these first 2 games? And so
go ahead.
That just speaks to how deep the Thunder are. If they just have him on the bench, if they just have Jared McCain on the bench, the aforementioned AJ Mitchell trumps the both of them. And I think that's why their minutes have gone down. AJ Mitchell is that good. Alex Caruso's back in rotation. The Thunder will be fine without Jaylen Williams. But I think they will need Jaylen for the rest of the playoffs if they want to repeat as champions. There will be some roadblocks on the way to a possible Western Conference championship and a possible repeat as NBA champion. Right now, they won't miss them. I'll give the Suns a game in Phoenix, but ultimately for this series, the Thunder will win without J-Dub. They're used to playing without him, but at the further these playoffs go, they will miss the scoring of Jaylen Williams.
All right. So let's
one more, Rick. One more thing, Rick. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do we think Mark Daniel was lying, or was he telling the truth? Maybe J-Dub did injure the hamstring, the left hamstring, in practice. As my cousin mentioned earlier, sometimes when you have an injury on one hamstring, you tend to compensate for the other. The load management isn't the same. So is it possible that Mark Daniel might have said too much in regards to what Jaylen Williams currently has? Maybe it is a re-aggravation of a left hamstring injury that wasn't acknowledged or told to the media before last night's game. So we'll never know. Maybe he smoked too much. That's my theory on that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm kind of hands to God on it right now, but what I can tell you is this. If Mark Daigneault did in fact intentionally lie, which I'm really not mad at, right? That's gamesmanship and competitiveness and all that kind of stuff. What he did was consult with the former coach of the Golden State Warriors, who of course is a pathological liar. And as I say that, yeah. Good. All four corners of.
Exactly.
Did the news break? Did the news break?
Got to take a little bow there. Got to take a little. Bye, Steve. Bye. We'll see you at TV. Bye. All right. Let's keep. And by the way, he's phenomenal at TV. I'm excited about getting him back on games.
Yes, he is.
And my guy,
absolutely.
And Doc Rivers. Okay. Quick take. Love me some Tim Legler. But I want Breen, Doc, and RJ on the top ABC crew. And I don't care where Steve Kerr goes, either the Prime or Peacock. But maybe we get a Kerr, Reggie, and Mike Tirico. Maybe we get an Ian Eagle, and I don't know who his analyst is right now. But Kerr and Doc are going to come in and be at the top of the heap of the game analyst game. All right. Let's move on. We got a clock on this topic right here. You guys know I'm a super nerd about televised sports. Who is the NBA's best clutch player? Okay. We know that SGA won the award, but is he the best clutch player? Two things can be true at the same time or not. All right. SGA, let's honor him real quick. First in clutch points per game, first in clutch field goals made, second in free throws made in the clutch. He's not the foul merchant you think he is. Anyway, fourth and three balls made in the clutch. Led the NBA in shots made to tie or take the lead in the final minute of the fourth quarter or overtime. He had the highest clutch point per game, 6.5 clutch points per game. That doesn't make sense, guys. That's insane. All right.
Yeah, really
and they weren't in. It's insane. It's the highest in NBA history, by the way, that statistic. Okay. But again, just because you won the clutch award doesn't necessarily mean he's the best clutch player in the league. You have all kinds of guys who are great at making last second shots. Luka, LeBron, Lillard, the list goes on and on and on. Dr. X, you first. Is SGA the best clutch player in the league right now, or would you name somebody else?
I think I would name SGA. I don't think the stats lie. I also like his decision making because he's not gonna dribble the crap out the basketball. He's gonna get to his spots, gonna take whatever dribbles he needs to take.
So, folks, people that know the show, he's taking a shot at somebody. He's taking a subtle shot.
He knows how to be a clutch player. I love that Jalen Brunson's a clutch player as well. He did hit a clutch three in between those couple of bad possessions, but and the Hawks were smart enough to guard him on the last play and make sure he didn't get the ball, which was Nickeil Alexander-Walker. But I think we've seen enough. Yeah, we've just seen enough of SGA on the finals stage and to win it all, and also in the Western Conference Finals. And he's hit so many good clutch mid-range shots as well as clutch free throws. So I'm gonna give it to him.
Okay, kind of a surprising answer, but I like it. It all made very, very, very much sense. Dwight Walton, you next, man. Who is the NBA's best clutch player?
I can't top what my cousin just said. It's basically all the statistics are there. It's to be that efficient, that clutch, to be able to come through more often than not. And I know it's easy for me to say it, but the stats don't lie. You give him the ball, he's going to make the right decision. he's going to score or make the right decision. He will more often than not shoot the basketball, but he's also one to make the right play. He's not afraid of doing that. He embodies his teammates. He trusts his teammates. You can just tell by how they interact both on and off the floor. We may make fun of it, but their team's chemistry speaks a lot to how his teammates know he's their best player, but they also know if needed, he will pass the ball to them in a clutch situation. Stats don't lie. SGA all day, every day.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land. All right, AM.
That is correct.
That was good, Rick. That was good. I see you've been working on the vocals. Good job.
Appreciate it.
Let's put this in perspective. Today is show 50 for Beyond the Surface, but I'm going to bring you back to show number 1. I believe it was show number 1. Rick, it was you on show number 1 who mentioned that SGA was like Kobe, was like Jordan, was reaching that point. And here's me on that first show with an eyebrow raised. Oh, really? Well, here we are 50 shows later, and I'm agreeing with everything you said. You were right, my man, and don't come off it. Kobe, MJ, do you get more clutch than those guys? No. Do you get more clutch than SGA these days? No, you don't. Even though he doesn't have to play the fourth quarter that often because of how good Oklahoma City is and how often they blow out teams, when he does or when he plays in the overtime, as you just mentioned, and as the stats show, he's as clutch as it get, if not absurd in some of those metrics. SGA all day, Dwight.
Okay, we got 3 SGAs. And we got one for this guy.
Oh,
yeah, we got one for this guy. We got one for this guy.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
The AI camera is tripping me out. Will you stay in one spot, please, for the love of Brunson? All right. I'm just going to throw this over my shoulder here while we do this. Brun dog, baby. Come on, man. All right. So you guys are making great points. If it wasn't Brunson, gosh, a healthy Damian Lillard comes to mind too here. But like Dame makes the big, oh my God, shot. Dame isn't like as volume of a clutch player as Brunson and SGA, right? Where they're just pumping in bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket. I mean, Dame from time to time does that. Don't get me wrong. But anyway, Brunson was 5th in the voting for clutch player of the year this year. All right. Won the award last year. He's been top 5 in clutch voting every year of the award. He's the only guy to do that. So he, over the 4 years they've had the award, is the most consistent clutch performer. And I'm still rocking with Brundog. He just showed it in game 2. I believe it was 2 big threes, right, to kind of get him close and keep him in the game and all that kind of stuff. Brunson makes you say, this is like my weird in the lab metric on it. He did it again. That mofo did it again. When guys make me say that, right? Like Reggie Miller used to, like Damian Lillard does, right? Like Kobe used to. He freaking did it again. All right, Brunson makes me say that every game. All right, it's about to get. I know you guys like it when I say this. It's about to get spicy in here. All right, we have
Caliente.
We have. Come on, Rundown, work with me here, man. I got to scroll down a little bit here. We got CP the Fanchise from Knicks Fan TV coming up in about 15 minutes. Let's talk Knicks. Ooh, let's talk Knicks. Who is to blame? There's no timer on this one, Doc. Got all the room you want. You can elbow me and Dwight and Noodles and AM like Charles Oakley does to Jim Dolan. in the cafeteria line at Madison Square Garden. All right. Who is to blame? Who's to blame for the Knicks game 2 loss? Let's play the blame game. Dr. X, floor is yours.
Well, just to remind you guys, this is the insufferable Dr. X. This is my playoff alter ego, so I'm sticking to it. And I know it's hot outside today, but AC, I might switch over to a t-shirt later too. But this is what I gotta say, man. And I've been saying this all year. It's definitely Mike Brown and Jalen Brunson, and then Karl Anthony Towns in that order. Um, Mike Brown, because you have the right to say, look, this is the new system, but we need to get cat touches. And he went away from what he was doing all year, which was allowing Karl Anthony Towns to be on the floor on the non-Brunson minutes. Yesterday, and I think game one, he's been sitting both of them and trying to instill confidence in the bench, I guess, but leaves them out for too long. I just feel like you should have tried that during the year. You know what I mean? And I also feel like Brunson should be getting Cat involved all throughout the game, not just in the beginning quarter, not just randomly in the third quarter, in the fourth as well. And if you don't have that confidence built at this point, that's Brunson's fault and coach's fault for not doing it in the regular season. When you guys were on that losing streak, you should at least tried it then. You knew you were going to lose the game. Start trying to involve him. Games where he shot 5 times. And to me, that's why I put it on him, because I feel like he has a tendency to pout and tries to show up the coach, which I think is wrong in him, and show up his point guard. And so the last 2 games of the season, or maybe the last week, they started showing more synergy, and that was encouraging. But I was like, first off, you were there all last year with Coach Tom Thibodeau, who you played for, so you should have been built that chemistry from that year. And you're an NBA player, both pros, and you're a pro point guard in Jalen Brunson. So there were no excuses. Then on top of that, the amount of times we've seen Shaq just get pissed off that he wasn't getting the ball, we need that out of Cat.
Right.
You have the right as an all-star, as a veteran of this league, to say, I want the fucking ball. Say it. There's no reason why you can't say it. Say it. And I just feel like he's probably not trying to rock the boat. But if you're not trying to rock the boat, don't be passive aggressive in day one of the press conference and say, I don't know where my where my responsibility is, where my place is in this offense. Don't start giving shots like that. Don't start shooting strays at people, if you're trying to keep the peace. So him not kind of saying it with his chest is the reason why I'm saying it's his fault as well. But I think it starts with Mike Brown. You had another built-in training camp because you weren't in the playing tournament. So and you knew who your opponent was, and you knew how successful he was against the team you're playing. So why isn't he touching the ball in the fourth quarter? And you're seeing the lead just dwindle. Another reason for me to circle back to Mike Brown, which is why I put him first, is the lineup. That you already saw that lineup doesn't work. And I love Deuce McBride, but we've seen last year when Jalen Brunson got injured that he is not a playmaker. He's not. And he's not really much of a shot creator either. So you're not even putting in Kolick. So at least stagger the lineup somehow. Let JC touch the ball more. Jordan Clarkson barely touched the ball. He had to hustle to get offensive rebounds, which is really
Right.
isn't his thing. But he was able to muster up at least 7 or 8 points. The same thing with Mitchell Robinson. So, but the bench has been horrible. If those guys didn't play those minutes and do well, then they barely scored 20 points. But the other thing is that what Mike Brown is trying to do, he's trying to empower OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, who are the third and fourth option, to now have confidence in the game by giving them the non-Brunson, non-Cat minutes to be effective. And they've come up short with zero points during those minutes. So that all that said, now I'm looking back at OG and Mikal Bridges, who I've been saying I would have traded for Giannis Antetokounmpo, because I just feel like they're just too inconsistent. They don't give us enough to warrant having them. But I do see their value. But if I had to, I would trade both of them to get Giannis Antetokounmpo, and maybe throw in a Deuce McBride or someone else. But and we've asked Knicks fans this, and CP has asked people, would you trade right now OG Anunoby and this person to get Giannis Antetokounmpo? And most people are like, yeah, I would. And some people are like, nah, we ain't gonna sell nobody. Yo, I'm dying with this squad. But those guys have been inconsistent for the last 3 years. And so you can't just point the finger at Mikal Bridges. You have to look at OG Anunoby as well. And if you're gonna play the bench, those guys gotta step up. So that's where I am with that.
Doc, great answer. I just want to quickly follow up with what Karl Anthony Towns said, okay, after the game, because I agree with everything you said. Even the hot sauce that you put on it, okay? Give me the effing ball. You're a future Hall of Famer. You're the second best player on this team. You're on a max contract. Nobody's mad at you if you do that. And if they are mad at you, like, that's a whole nother thing. But this is what Cat said on not taking very many shots in the fourth quarter. He was 0 for 2 in the fourth quarter and had 0 rebounds in the fourth quarter. I don't think he scored a point, but maybe he did. He had 18 and 8 for the game. He said the opportunity just didn't come around to shoot it. At the end of the day, I trust everyone in this locker room to shoot the ball. The opportunity wasn't available for me in the fourth, and it's fine. How does that quote sit with you, Dr. X?
It doesn't. I mean, that was the right thing to say, but it begs the question why the opportunity didn't come around. Like, why don't you run a play for him where he's the first option? And then after seeing that, they're kind of just freestyling it. But Mike Brown also put him in the game in the fourth quarter really late. Like, everybody was like, when are they coming back in? Because we were up 12.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, yeah. So they put him in, like, I think it was below 8 minutes. They came back in. So now half the quarter is nearly done, or about that. But I think Carlton Towns saying that, this begs the question: why don't they have plays in the fourth quarter where he's the first option? And then seeing Brunson over dribble and take a bad shot for 2 possessions in a row, and then see him get cooked on the other end. It's just like, hey, you got to give them a piece of their own medicine. If they want to exploit mismatches, then we exploit mismatches. And then also got to consider the double big lineup. Like, put Mitch in there at least under the 2-minute mark, so they can prevent from doing the whole hack of Mitch, or put them in before to get them in the penalty. So now when they're D'ing Karl Anthony Towns and they foul him, he's gonna hit the free throws. You get what I'm saying? So there's all that chess stuff, and I just feel like Mike Brown, I expected more from him, being from the Popovich tree, to do things of that nature.
So I'm going to blame Mike Brown. So we've got 2 Mike Browns here. And that seat just gets hotter and hotter and hotter. Mike Brown and Thibodeau, you guys know how I feel about that. Made it very clear. The 5-man lineup of Jose Alvarado, Jordan Clarkson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Mitchell Robinson played 0 minutes together this season, going into game 2. They shared the floor for 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. They did not play together all year. Mike Brown, what the hell is that, bro? What is that? You're playing a lineup you've never played? Bro, you're reaching for desperation Hail Marys in game 2 with a lead. Bro, that is dumbassery, man. Mike Brown left his bench in the game way too long in the fourth quarter, till about the 6-minute mark. That was my recollection of it. You bring your starters back at about the 9-minute mark of the fourth. That's what you do, unless, of course, Rick Celebrini runs your team, and then you bring Steph back with 5:30 to go in the fourth quarter. When he's on a 40-ball heater, all right? Enough. Mike Brown burned all of the Knicks timeouts, including one that stopped a fast break, and did not have a timeout when they got the rebound off the CJ missed free throw with 5 seconds left, guys. 5 seconds. Timeout. Advance the ball. Now you're inbounding. You actually can dribble a couple of times. And it's a 1-point game. Okay? Just dumbassery across the board. Cat played 34 minutes. Should have been 38. Brunson played 35 minutes. Should have been 40. Okay? All the Knicks starters should be playing 40 minutes. Okay? The Knicks made a terrible mistake firing Tom Thibodeau, and this is the bed. You got to lay in it now. And Mike Brown, he's all cute and cuddly and, with his opening statement and all the Mike Brown stuff. And I love Mike Brown. I want to give him a hug right now because I think he's about to get whacked. All right, AM Pfeffer and Noodles. Let's play the blame game on the Knicks Game 2 loss.
Brown, 100% Brown. There's nobody else to blame but Brown for all the reasons you stated, for all the reasons Doc stated, and for all the reasons that exist in the universe. I mean, you're talking about a team that was up 89-77 going into the fourth quarter, was up by 8 somehow with less than 5 minutes left, even though they were getting waxed in the fourth quarter. This is a team that throughout the year has been great in the fourth quarter, closing out games. This is a team and a coach that I have given credit to for making the right adjustments, who couldn't have made any more wrong adjustments going into the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. And worse, and I said it before this series started, this is going to go 7 because the Knicks are going to give away not 1, but 2 that they shouldn't have. Well, that was the first one, and there's probably another one coming in the next 3 or 4 games. I hate to say it, and they're going to be depleted when they got to play whoever it is in the second round. More than likely Boston. Let's hope it's Philadelphia. But my God, Mike Brown, what were you doing? You did not stagger correctly the last 6-7 minutes of that game for all the reasons Kamala just stated. Mike Brown, 100%. It falls on the coach.
All right, Dwight, we got CP kind of in the green room and getting warmed up here. Go ahead, play the blame game. Who are you blaming?
I can sit here and blame Mike Brown for the reasons you mentioned. The lineup that hadn't played a single minute during the regular season. There was also a lineup in there that might have played 6 minutes during the regular season. We can question the substitution pattern until we're blue in the face. Yes, we could talk about that. But the reality is, when Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns came back into the game, the Knicks had a 9-point lead still. We need to focus on the players here. It's the players that have to be held accountable. CJ McCollum hunted a weak defensive player in Jalen Brunson. Teams will use Karl Anthony Towns in screen roll to hunt his slow feet sliding defensively on the perimeter. Until the Knicks play championship defense, the Knicks are going to struggle. This is the playoffs. No team is going to go undefeated. It's one loss. You make adjustments. But until the 2-star players for the Knicks are held accountable defensively, I don't like this whole blame the head coach. The head coach can devise a game plan. It's up to the players to stick to that game plan and to perform to that game plan. Talk about his substitution patterns until you're blue in the face. Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, be better defensively. Also, this stuff, and it makes me, I get sick and tired and pissed off when players complain about shots, especially big players. Karl, if you're not getting shots, stop standing around the 3-point line, stop sulking, get your behind on the low block, or even better yet, chase shots off the offensive glass and score that way. You don't need a play to be run for you. Be big. You're 7 feet tall. You're one of the best rebounders in the NBA. Go offensive rebound. Lather up. Be tough. Muck it up on the interior. What's going to happen? You're going to create space. You're going to give your teammates second shot opportunities. You're going to create foul trouble for the opposition, and you're going to feel involved. But when you sulk, when you put your head down, when you show poor body language, when you don't involve yourself offensively, you're going to make loser mentality statements in the post game by saying, I only got 2 shots in the fourth quarter. Miss me with that, man. Go rebound. You're 7 feet tall. Stop being soft. Go play hard. Stop blaming the coach. The players have to be better defensively, and Towns, go rebound the flipping ball. Enough with this post-game nonsense. It pisses me off.
Woo! Dwight Walton! We got an F-bomb from Doc, and we got a quasi-F-bomb from Dwight. One of these shows, we
cool.
may get an F-bomb from Dwight. Dude, I'm going to take a lap around my apartment complex. I'm going to take a shirtless slap around my apartment complex if I hear an F word come out of your mouth, dude. All right, it is the guy, and we are going to welcome on CP the Fanchise right now, my old buddy from Sirius XM NBA Radio, Knicks TV, a huge Knicks fan, great broadcaster. He's got a fantastic New York accent, and he's going to bring all that swagger to me on the Fanchise. What's up, man?
Afternoon, fellas. How we doing, man? I love the fire, love the energy. Shout out to Dr. Phil. Cam, you my guy, man. You know that, man. So salute, man. Happy to be on.
Appreciate it, man. So let me introduce you to the guys down here. Lower right-hand corner, it's Dwight Walton, Canadian basketball legend, played in the 1988 Seoul Olympics, long overseas career as well, and a phenomenal rebounder despite being in about a 6'6". But CP, trust me, this guy is built like a bleep brick house, okay? So he got every damn rebound. And then our LA studios, as you can see, fabulous. We have A.M. Pfeffer, businessman, author, and a hell of a sports analyst, and one of our guys, one of our main panel members. So here we go. CP, I want to bring you in on what literally we're just talking about right now. We're just playing the blame game for the Knicks Game 2 loss. 3 of us said Mike Brown. Dwight put it on. It sounded more like Captain Brunson, but put it more on the players than the coach. That's it for the setup. Play the blame game, CP, the Fanchise, for Game 2.
Man, I hate to be the one to cop out, but I'm putting it on both. This was unserious basketball by both the coach and on the players. I sat there in Madison Square Garden in that second quarter when Mike Brown brings out the 3 shooting guard lineup along with OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson with no playmaker, no point guard, and no engine, and watch turnover after turnover after turnover, calls a timeout, brings in the same unit. I think he swapped out Josh Hart for OG Anunoby, and it was still ineffective. I watched the 10-point lead go down to absolutely nothing. They give the Hawks confidence, and for me in the playoffs, every possession counts. You cannot waste possessions, and that was a serious blunder. I went into halftime pissed off because I thought the coach completely botched that. You need an engine. The Knicks, one of the Knicks' vulnerabilities for all season has been the ineffectiveness at the backup point guard spot. Yes, he brought in Jose Alvarado. I thought after the theatrics with CJ McCollum, I thought the lights got a little bit too bright for Jose. He forgot to do his job, which was to playmaking and get that offense together. So a big question is going to be going into this next game, how Mike Brown handles that second unit. I love Jordan Clarkson's energy. I love his intensity. But Deuce McBride and Landry Shamet, they are finishers. They are 3-and-D players. Their job is to catch and shoot threes. Or if you're getting them out in transition on the defensive side, then to hoist up the threes. But to rely on them to play make for a second unit in the playoffs, under heavy ball pressure, that was a complete boneheaded play by Mike Brown. Secondly, the botched timeout, not using the use it or lose it timeout in the fourth quarter with under 3 minutes to go, and instead using his last timeout while the Knicks are in the middle of trying to make a play on the offensive side, where then at the end of the game, after the CJ McCollum's missed free throw, you have no timeouts left. That is not championship caliber coaching on Mike Brown's side. On the players' side, let's go to them shooting 65% from the free throw line. You can't win championships being a lousy free throw shooting team. OG Anunoby with the 2 botched free throws at the end. Also, you got Karl Anthony Towns scoring 14 points in the third quarter and can't get the ball at all in the fourth quarter. The Knicks have to be able to create advantages with their 2 stars. It can't be everybody watching Jalen Brunson move with the ball in isolation. When he's on, it's Captain Clutch time. It's fantastic. But when he's off, it can be an absolute disaster. I agree with my Canadian Charles Oakley. Yes, he has to go out there and do his job. He's got to offensive rebound the ball. He's got to defend. I get that wholeheartedly. But he can't just be a spectator watching when he has the sole advantage on that team. The Atlanta Hawks have zero answer for Karl Anthony Towns. So to me, it's like, the Knicks just have different ways of shooting themselves in the foot, and that can't happen if they want to be a serious contender in this playoff run.
Listening to CP the Fanchise puts my hate, dude, on the concrete of Manhattan, man. I'm just excited. I feel like I'm in Manhattan right now, and I'm on the Gulf Coast of Florida. Dr. X, go ahead with CP the Fanchise.
Well, that's also Dwight and I. So Dwight is my cousin, and both of us are
Yep.
Jamaican heritage, and so is CP the franchise. He's Jamaican too.
Likewise.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
There you
he
go.
rocks green. He rocks green, but only when it's with gold and black. Never green
that's
alone.
right.
That's for the
That's
Celtics.
right.
But nah, man, I think you said everything, man. I just want to shout out CP for being a part of this whole thing we're doing for the fan base, because we're gonna be announcing very soon, early in the month of May, Rick, about the Gotham City Bockers. And so right now we're searching for players. We already got Dennis Scott, who's on this panel as well as our head coach, and we also have another guy named Brad Seisler as our lead assistant, and Dwight as our GM and assistant coach as well. So Dwight has been sending me some names, and we're really encouraged. We got also have some potential sons of former players that might be on the team. So we'll reveal that soon enough. But yeah, we're gonna be hyping it up going forward from May all the way to August. But that's
Nice.
all I had to say. Rest is for y'all.
I love it. All right, AM, come on in here with a question for CP.
Yeah, before I get there, I just got to say the side-by-side drip of looking at CP and Doc together on screen. I mean, I hope everybody's enjoying it as much as I am. You guys look real good today.
That on blue shining, man.
I know my answer. I know my answer, which I'm going to give away, which is a ball of lint and a bag of peanuts. But what would you trade Mikal Bridges for today, despite the five first rounds we gave away for him? What would you be happy getting back at this point?
Honestly, it's a tough call, man. I mean, to me, this Knicks team, they're in such a tough spot in terms of how to upgrade beyond this point, because of the fact that, they're looking at it as a second apron team. And so if it's not in a Giannis package, which is also comes with its own risks, I don't know if, downgrading for two or three role players or two role players and a pick, is that really worth, is that really going to get the Knicks over the top? Is that really going to move the needle for the Knicks? I'm not so sure. I like the role that Mikal Bridges fills on this team. To me, he shut out Nickeil Alexander-Walker in these first two games. A lot of people, that's kind of hidden, given the fact that, yes, he missed the game-winning shot in the game too. But by and large, I thought his defense on Nickeil Alexander-Walker has been excellent so far through these two games. But he's also in a spot where within this starting five, sometimes he can be the fourth option, sometimes he can be the fifth. It's a lot of mouths to feed. And so, his role, his consistency, rather, on the offensive end, it's going to come and go, unfortunately. I would love to see him here in the Knicks uniform. I want to see this team continue and not, break this team up for Giannis. I don't think that moves the needle for them in terms of depleting their depth. So right now, I'd rather stand pat, honestly, with Mikal Bridges.
All right.
Wow, interesting. I share that opinion, CP. I do. I've been telling the guys, do not trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's damaged goods. He's past his prime. He doesn't bring a lot of skill to the table. He's not going to age well. No. And I know Dr. X disagrees with that, but that's what we do here. We debate. Dwight Walton, you and CP, the franchise, go at it.
Fanchise, first off, I appreciate the Charles Oakley Canadian reference. Thank you very much. Much respect for that. I'm going to ask you this question. I asked Mike Fratello, who was on our program last week. I'm going to broach it to you as well. I know there's 450 players in the NBA, but there was a straw poll of 150 players in the NBA prior to the playoffs. Those 150 players weren't allowed to answer to say their own team. They were asked, who do you think will win the NBA championship? The responses were Oklahoma City, San Antonio, Denver, Boston, the Lakers, even an Atlanta Hawks reference.
Yeah.
One team was inconspicuously left out. You know where I'm going with this. None of them, albeit only 150 players, none of them said the New York Knicks. These are the players now, not the media, not the fans, not your podcast, not our podcast. Why do you think there's disrespect amongst those 150 players towards the New York Knicks?
They haven't earned the respect. You look at the last 2 years, they haven't beat the top of the East and West, respectively, in the regular season. They got completely dog walked by the Detroit Pistons 3 times this season. I mean, absolutely obliterated. They could not beat OKC. You know, you look at Boston, obviously their respect is warranted. They have the championship already. You have Tatum and Brown, your top 2 caliber players pacing that team. Denver has already won it. Like those teams that have already won it deserve that respect. Yeah, the Spurs are the kind of the soup du jour. Wemby is the sexy pick, but I don't trust him to be healthy over the course of an entire season. And I like the Knicks matching up with the Spurs. I think if those 2 teams meet in the championship, I think the Knicks have a great chance of beating them much better than they do Oklahoma City. Now, the person that selected the Hawks is probably Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who wanted to show his cousin some love, because I don't know who the hell would do that. That was clearly a joke. Maybe it was Dylan Brooks or something like that. So, you know, I think, look, you come off of the fact that they choked the 2 games away last year in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Pacers. They fired Tibbs. They hate the fan. People hate the fan base. They think we're obnoxious New Yorkers and rude and all of that. So it all comes with the territory. And not to mention the fact that all these players love to come into Madison Square Garden and put on the show in front of the bright lights. So there is a lot of New York hate around the league. Whether it's warranted or not, you know, I'll let you guys be the judge. But I can understand why nobody picked the Knicks to win that championship.
And CP, this is why I have my new playoff alter ego called the insufferable Dr. X. I'm leaning in to that hate. So you're gonna see the shades. You're gonna see nothing but Nick here, and that's what it is. Let's go.
Absolutely.
All right.
Maybe you got some intel for us. Oh, forgive me. Rick, go ahead.
No, Eric, go ahead. You started first. Go ahead.
I'm curious, Sohan. Sohan, that is the name. I mean, we were so excited about this guy when he was picked up, right?
Is he even still in the league?
Who knows? Where is he? Why isn't he part of the equation? Will he matter off the bench? Do the Knicks need him? Should Mike Brown lead on him more than 3.5 minutes in any game? What are we talking about here? Is there any hope for him to come in and play the unsung hero in these playoffs? I feel like there is.
Well, where he is right now is on the bench where he belongs, because you can shoot better than him right now. I mean, the offense, when he's out there, they just have no idea how to utilize him. He's super scared to shoot the ball, and so he would be a bit of a liability. Look, I think the Knicks wings have done a fantastic job defending in this series. From Josh Hart, his defense on Jalen Johnson, I think he's been excellent. Yep. OG Anunoby has done a great job, and as I mentioned, Mikal Bridges' job on Nickeil Alexander-Walker. It hasn't been on the wings defensively where they need help. It's been on the playmaking and utilizing their dominant big man to dominate the opposing defense. However, if there are late game situations and they do have timeouts left, maybe that is an opportunity to take out Jalen Brunson and put in Jeremy Sohan, or put in a stronger defender, a Deuce McBride, or things of that nature. But Mike Brown botched this whole thing, especially in game 2, where you had 0 timeouts left with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. It's inexcusable. It's also another opportunity to bring in Mitchell Robinson. You know, a guy who he did get 1 first place vote for 6th man of the year. Shout out to Stan Van Gundy. He's not really indicated. So, you know, things of that nature, tightening up defensively, but you got to be able to manage the timeouts effectively. And I thought Mike Brown let that get away from him. Look, Sohan is a good defender. He's gritty. He's athletic. You can certainly use him in small ball 5 situations in a pinch if you get desperate. But right now, because of his ineptitude on the offensive end, I don't think they can afford to really give him any minutes right now.
All right, CP, I got a couple of questions for you, and we'll let you go. We know you're a little bit short on time. Number one, did you agree with the firing of Tom Thibodeau for Mike Brown? Okay, let's start there, because I was vehement. I've told these guys all year it was a huge, huge mistake. I would have never done it. We're all here complaining about Mike Brown. So where are you at with the Tibbs-Mike Brown thing?
Yeah, I mean, you know, after game 2, I'd heard those rumblings that, you know, if they don't win this series against the Pacers in the ECF, he's out of there. So I kind of already knew that the wheels were kind of being greased there to push him out. There had been friction for a little bit, you know, not even just the playoffs, but also through the regular season. They wanted somebody that they could work well with. You know, Tibbs, as you guys know, has that reputation of being the my way or the highway type of guy. And I think the organization wanted a coach that was going to solicit the advice of the medical staff, work with his assistant coaches, And you saw that with Mike Brown. You saw Chris Gent running huddles. You saw Brendan O'Connor, the defensive coordinator, running huddles. You've heard Mike Brown several times throughout the regular season give credit to Rick Brunson for his recommendations in terms of rotations, in terms of closing minutes, things of that nature. Whether that's going to lead to winning or not, time will tell. I was a big Tibbs guy. I was a big Tibbs advocate. You know, my nickname on my show was Tibbs Fan TV because the fan base would say I was carrying water for the guy. But look, I respected him. I love the fact that he laid the foundation and he gave us an identity, you know, physical, tough, gritty defense. The offense improved under Tibbs. They were a top 5 offense, top 10 offense most years under Tom Thibodeau. So there was a lot to give him credit for. But even when he came here, I remember going back to my show those 6 years ago, I said, hey, maybe Tom Thibodeau comes in here and he's a stepping stone coach. He's the ladder coach where he sets the foundation and another team coach takes them over the top. However, it was very clear during the coaching search that Mike Brown was not the first choice. And so it's a little, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, you know, obviously Jason Kidd was the guy that they wanted. He was under contract with Dallas. That didn't work. It seemed like Mike Brown was like the 3rd or 4th choice. So it's hard to say whether or not, you know, firing Tibbs is one thing, but bringing him in for Mike Brown, that probably wasn't the most ideal choice. But again, you know, based on where the organization was, I could also make the case that it was time to move on from Tibbs. I just don't know if Mike Brown was the right person.
I am a Mike Brown guy as a guy. I worked with him at NBA TV. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in this business. I'm not a Mike Brown. I think he's an overrated coach. I'm not a huge, I don't think he's a championship coach. Like, he'll win you 50 games. He's got a couple coach of the years. Yeah, all that stuff's cool. Is he ever going to break through and hug and caress and make out with the gold ball? Nah, no, he's not.
But Rick,
last
hold
question.
on, fellas, hold on. We don't know that yet. We don't know.
Well, it's an opinion.
It's
an opinion.
1-1. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Mike Brown, it's just, we know championship players when we see them, right? We know championship coaches when we see them, right? At least I do. Like, there's a little gut test with that. Like, Ant-Man's going to win a chip. Luka's going to win a chip someday. Like, I just see it. I saw it with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum back before anybody did. I mean, the early days of me and AD on NBA radio, I'm like, oh, these guys are winning a chip together. Really? Yes. Just wait. Boom. All right, last question for you, CP. Can you rank the best eras in Knicks history?
Best eras in Knicks history? Got to go with the 70s. Definitely got to go with the 70s. Then I'm going to go with the obviously the Clyde Frazier 70s. That's number 1. I'll go with the 90s Knicks, the Ewing era. They won 50-plus games damn near every year. 2 finals appearances in 94, 99. And then I'll go with this Thibodeau/Brunson era that was started under Tibbs. You know, this 2021 era Knick team that kind of got this franchise back on the right track. We'll see how far they can take them. He's got to step it up tonight, make better decisions with the ball. But I still trust him, man. He's Captain Clutch for a reason. Dr. Phil is rocking the sweatshirt. And the one thing about Jaylen Brunson is that he holds himself accountable more than anybody. And so when he has those bad games, when he has the dud that he had in the 4th quarter, he typically bounces back strong. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a 40-point Captain Clutch special tonight in Game 3 in Atlanta. I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's go, man. Let's go. I don't claim the Knicks, CP. You know, I'm a Timberwolves fan, and my side piece is Wemby and the Spurs, right? But I love this dude right here. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I love this dude right here, man. I got the jersey and everything. Oh, man. CP the Fanchise, tell the people about your podcast. Tell them when it's on next, how they can see you, how to subscribe, and all that kind of stuff, man. We appreciate you.
Sure, man. Thanks again for having me on. You can catch us at Knicks Fan TV on YouTube, on all major podcast platforms. We'll be on tonight starting at tip-off 7 p.m. for play-by-play live. Then we will transition to KFTV post-game live. I'll be on as well. In the New York City tri-state area, we will be at Printers Alley for the watch party. So if you want to come out and watch with us in person, we'll be there. On Saturday, we are doing the New York Knicks fan takeover of Atlanta. This is an annual tradition that we do. We will be down in Atlanta at Hudson Grill, 120 Marietta Street, right across the street from the State Farm Arena. I got special guests coming through, prizes, giveaways, the whole 9 yards. So definitely appreciate the time, and hopefully I could come back on there, down the road in the playoffs and chop it up.
Most definitely.
Always.
CP, we will definitely be having you back on.
Yo.
Dude, so I'm 11 years in Atlanta, right? NBA TV and 92.9 The Game and all that kind of stuff. Bro, have fun, man. You're going to be in a weekend in Atlanta, the takeover. Come on, man. I'm not even going to mention that place right down the street from Hudson Grill.
Yes.
I'm not even going to mention it. You guys already know.
Well, Rick, I will be traveling with my wife. We will have a nice walk down Peachtree Street. We'll have a nice dinner, and I'll make New York in one piece. But you guys enjoy that place down the street. I'm not even sure what you're referring to. But me and my wife will have a nice dinner in Atlanta. Enjoy the weekend, man. I'll see you guys.
I understand. I understand. CP, safe travels, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, stay up, fellas. Bro. Thanks again.
Yep. CP, the Fanchise. I think you guys kind of knew the place I was talking about, right? Or referring to, right?
Yeah. Lemon pepper wings, Lou. Yes.
Yeah.
We're talking about their wings.
All right.
Noodles is watching me, man. I'm not saying.
That's what Noodles was yesterday.
She was.
That's why the glasses were
kicking it. She was kicking it. She was holding court. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, so Dwight Walton earlier mentioned a man named Scoot Henderson, and I want to talk about Scoot Henderson right now as we get into, guys, your top breakout player of the playoffs. And I certainly hope you guys don't pick Scoot Henderson because that's my guy. But there's the Laker guys are going off and Jalen Green. There's a lot of stuff to choose from here. So as I'm going here, think about a breakout player for you in these playoffs. So for me, it's Scoot Henderson. Game 2, by far his best game as a pro. I mean, guys, it was liquefied buckets, man. 31 points, no assists. I'm not mad at him. He made 11 of 17 shots overall. Guys, Scoot and Wemby, this is crazy. The lead put out this stat. Scoot and Wemby are the only two guys in the history of the game, according to the lead, to under 24 years old to record a 30-plus point playoff game on 75% true shooting percentage. It's a weird, nerdy AM Pfeffer stat, but nevertheless, it's a Scoot and Wemby stat, okay? So a reporter asked Scoot Henderson after game 2, when did you realize you had it tonight? He said, when I woke up. Yeah, dog, that's what I'm talking about. This guy would say the same thing. He'd say the same thing when I woke up, brah. You know what I'm saying? Scoot was really good in game 1 as well, right? All right, so he had 19 in game 1. 18 in game 1. He has 49 points in his first 2 playoff games. That's tied with Damian Lillard for the second best in Portland history behind the great Brandon Roy, who went for 63 in his first 2 playoff games. Scoot Henderson did have a career year, barely, 14.2 points per game, 24.9 minutes per game. That's an excellent ratio. In his 3rd season, best as a pro. Only played 30 games due to the injury. Scoot is due for a major breakout next season if his coach plays him. I am not sure why Chauncey Billups did not like Scoot Henderson. Maybe Scoot Henderson was messing up Chauncey's parlays. Wait a minute. Too soon? Too soon with that? Maybe that's too soon. I don't. But Chauncey Billups did not like Scoot Henderson, okay? Us fantasy guys, we've been waiting on the Scoot revelation for 3 years, right? Chauncey never played him, okay? And so next year's going to be weird. Drew Holiday, 2 years left on his deal at $34 million, then a player option at $37, which he will definitely pick up. Lillard's going to be back next year, so that might squeeze Scoot back to the bench. But for me, Scoot is ready for prime time. I want to see him put up to bat with a starting assignment. Let's go to Dwight Walton here next.
Well,
who's your top? Yeah, hit me.
Actually, thinking of breakout, I got to break out. So let me go next.
Okay.
And because I have to actually leave right after this take. I can't wait for my cousin's long-winded answer. Again. Sorry, Dwight. He didn't
What?
appreciate that. Sorry.
That was unprovoked right there. That was
It
unprovoked.
was. It was.
No,
It
no
was because he was
comment.
playing nice. He was playing nice, and we had a couple good conversations.
He
last
said
couple
no
days.
comment.
Yo, well, real quick, my pick is VJ Edgecombe. I know it was only one game technically, but 30 and 10, he surpassed Magic as the youngest player to do that stat line by a couple days or a few days. And I just feel like he's the main reason why I still have the Celtics on upset alert, and I do think that they could possibly win it all. I mean, not win it all, but win this series in 7 games if Joel Embiid comes back, and that's a big if. But I think he is likely to come back because of what just happened the last game. So we'll wait and see. Apparently, he is getting some shots up and things of that nature. But I'll say VJ Edgecombe is my top breakout player of the postseason. I call him Dwayne Wade Part 3, and now they
Nice.
have a new nickname for the backcourt called VJ Max, and Part 2 is Donovan Mitchell, in my opinion, the second coming of Dwayne Wade. But I believe VJ Edgecombe doesn't have the strength yet as those guys, but he definitely has the athleticism. He has the toughness, the mentality, and he's not scared of anything. He's not backing down from anything. So look out for him for the rest of this playoff series, as well as potentially in the round 2 against the Knicks. And that's who my player is.
I
Gotta
love
go,
that.
fellas. I
Hey,
appreciate you
hey,
guys.
hey.
Doc,
Mhm.
Oh, Doc's out. I was going to ask him for a prediction on the game tonight, but
I'm
the
here.
great
I'm
Doc
here. I'm here.
corrects.
I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
do it.
My
Just
bad.
what's your quick prediction on the game tonight, my brother?
Outside the Knicks and Atlanta Hawks, who's playing?
No, just no on that one. No, that game.
No. But is there? I know, but are there other games tonight?
Yeah, I think I haven't even looked at the schedule tonight. I think Lakers and Rockets are tonight. No, Timberwolves and Denver and Minnesota, and then the series nobody cares about, Cavs at Raptors. Sorry, Dwight.
Okay, yeah. Well, I got the Cavs sweeping the Raptors. Even if Quickly comes back, I have Ant-Man and his cast pulling off another win, two in a row, and then Denver's going to get it together and win the series. And then I had the Knicks winning in convincing fashion, uh, getting away from the things that caused them to to lose, but then losing game 4 and then winning game 5 for the fans finally. And then probably, winning game 6 in Atlanta and call it a day. But
Okay.
that's my prediction.
Convincing victory for the New York Knicks tonight, according to Dr. X down there in the A. Doc, I hope the Knicks last night on an off night in Atlanta. Never mind. Good luck to you. Good luck to your Knicks tonight, Doc, and we'll see you soon, man.
Thanks, fellas. Love you
Peace,
guys, man.
guys.
I'm out.
The
See
great
ya.
Dr. X.
All right.
The great Dr. X. All right. Dwight Walton, let me get your breakout player, man.
To me, breakout player literally is Luke Kennard, LA Lakers.
Nice.
Here's a player to me that has been, use a Hollywood entertainment term, he's been typecast, stereotyped. He's a shooter. But what we've seen with the Lakers, he's a player that can literally dribble, pass, and shoot. He has been asked to initiate offense. He has been asked to alleviate pressure from LeBron and Marcus Smart by bringing the ball up the floor. He's a terrific off-ball mover. He is a more than competent defender. We are seeing the total package for Luke Kennard. And he's doing the thing that he was brought over by the Lakers at the trade deadline to shoot the basketball from distance. He is averaging 23 points per game in the first 2 games of this Rocket series. But again, he's not just a shooter. He is out there in the passing lanes. He's defending. He's become a leader in the locker room. You could see him barking out instructions on the floor. And he's already played in Los Angeles, but it was with the Clippers. He says there's just something different about donning the Laker purple and gold and representing the Lakers organization. It's almost as if he's having an out-of-body experience. But we're finding out he's 6'6" and has a total game. He is not just a shooter. And like I said, he is a more than competent defender. you can't pick on him. You could choose to pick on him, but he's going to compete and give you an honest effort in the passing lanes. He's terrific in that 2-3 or sometimes 3-2 zone that the Lakers incorporate, especially against teams that don't have great shooting, the Rockets in particular, which is why the Lakers and some of the fans and media like this matchup. Luke Kennard, to me, is the obvious answer. We could talk about Scoot Henderson. We could talk about VJ Edgecombe, all these other players. But Luke, truly, if you're not a fan of the NBA, you didn't know that he had this complete package that he has shown since coming up to LA, since the trade deadline.
The Memphis Grizzlies late last year were in such disrepair at the guard spot. Luke Kennard had to play a lot of point guard for them. And I messed with Luke in fantasy because of that. Like, if you're hitting 18 points and 3 threes a game with no boards, no steals, no dimes, I don't, like, somebody else go get that guy. I need goodies, okay? Luke was giving me goodies, man. And I'm not calling him a point guard, but Dwight, he is an underrated, capable playmaker. That's all. I just said capable, right? He and Magic Johnson out there, but this guy can run an offense in spurts. You don't want him as your starting point guard, obviously, but those were a bunch of excellent points, man. A.M. Pfeffer and Noodles. We have Scoot.
Well, look,
we have VJ. We have Kennard. What says you?
Yeah, look, speaking of Scoot, I'm on record somewhere in the annals of XSN video history talking about him potentially winning Rookie of the Year and that he would have a good career. So I'm happy to see the breakout, but he's still not my guy. I mean, A.M. Pfeffer is an initial dude, and it ain't VJ Edgecombe, who, by the way, deserves all the accolades he's been getting. He really did it. I mean, his second game alone, whether you want to talk about what he did in the first or not, was that good. But there's another guy out there, another J, and I'm not happy to mention this, but it really is CJ McCollum. He's the breakout guy of the playoffs. And I know at 34 years old, that seems ridiculous. And I know you go back into history and what he was next to Dame all the way back in Portland, and then what his entire journey has been since then, and the amount of teams he's been on and the stops that he's made. But all of a sudden, look, if you're the villain of Madison Square Garden, if you're pinging Jalen Brunson in the nuts, whether, purposely or not, on a kick out, well, you put up 26 points on over 50% shooting in game one and a loss, and then come back, and you're the hero in game two, despite the fact that you missed those 2 free throws down at the end, and you've wiggled your way as somehow being the number one guy on the Atlanta Hawks in a 1-1 series, and everybody's rooting for you going back to Atlanta. You're the breakout star of the playoffs. He's not just the breakout player, he's the breakout star of the playoffs. So I got to give it to McCollum. As much as it hurts, as much as I want my Knicks to win, as much as I want them taking the next 3 easily, I'm a little worried because CJ McCollum, who, by the way, prior to the playoffs, was already close to a Knicks killer. And you saw that he hit that shot, right? From 78.5 feet with that just off the fingertips. They would have won the game too. CJ McCollum, I don't know where he came from. Again, the afterthought, the trade exception out of Washington, making his way to Atlanta, and has wormed his way into the leader of the team. CJ McCollum's the breakout of the playoffs.
Okay, so let's transition, and AM, you go first on this. Is CJ McCollum officially the new villain of Madison Square Garden?
Speaking of, yeah, I mean, sure. Yes, absolutely. And the Garden always needs a villain, and it's not a good thing. I'm not happy that there needs to be a villain. I'm not happy that it always turns out to be an Atlanta Hawk, right? Especially because of what Trae Young had done to the Knicks previously. And I'm not happy that the Knicks are trying to turn him into a villain. That doesn't bode well. Don't give him the credence to be the villain, right? You're giving fuel to the fire if you're the Knicks. You're pouring that kerosene right on there. No need. Unfortunately, yeah, he is the villain of MSG. Point to the Hawks on that. Doesn't help the Knicks by having that villain.
Dwight Walton, are you ready to say that CJ McCollum is the new MSG villain, or do you need to see more?
No, listen, first of all, I appreciate the press conference that CJ gave talking about he's got a wife, he's got 2 kids. But
yeah, he said I'm a nice guy. He said I'm a nice guy. I'm not a villain.
But then the next reporter asked him about hunting out Jalen Brunson, and he was like, What do you think? Asked
Yep.
again, what do you think? I think
Yep.
he's loving this. He's embracing this whole villain, this new persona, and what he's also done, he's taken pressure off of his young teammates. That's the whole point behind this. And this is AM, to your point, how he's quote unquote finagled his way into being the man for the Atlanta Hawks. We all thought, justifiably so, especially after he averaged a triple double for the month of December, and ultimately why they transitioned away from Trae Young. We all thought that Jalen Johnson was the man, was the face of this franchise, and technically he still is. But the reality is, CJ McCollum has given the Hawks all the confidence in the world. Even before this performance, I had this series going 7 with the Knicks ultimately winning the series. However, if the Hawks wins games 3 and 4 in Atlanta, the Knicks are in a heap of trouble. And I'm sure, I'm not a prophet. I like to prognosticate, but I'm not a prophet. But I have a feeling CJ McCollum is going to have his hands all over these 2 games in New York. Nothing wrong with the 40-point prediction that our man CP the franchise had for Jalen Brunson, but I think CJ McCollum is going to be in the realm of making things difficult for Jalen Brunson on the other end of the basketball court. So CJ McCollum, there's a method to his madness. He gave the I'm a nice guy, got wife and 2 kids speech, but at the same time, he knows what he's good at. He knows that he has a young team, and I think he's trying to breathe life and confidence into that young roster and to say, you know what? I'm a new guy here, but if you want to get on my back and enjoy this ride and beat the Knicks in a 7-game series, I'll take all the heat. I'll embrace the villain role. Let's rock. Let's roll. Let's do this against the vaunted New York Knicks.
Sensational points by both of you guys. Worthy of a golf clap.
Thank you.
Jalen Johnson, we all love Jalen Johnson. But I got to tell you what my eyes are seeing. And I think it'll change in Atlanta. But games 1 and 2, the lights were too bright for Jalen Johnson. Okay? And it's okay. He has never been in this position before as the number 1 for a playoff team at Madison Square Garden. That's a tough assignment, okay? And I don't think he was ready for it. And CJ, lifted him up and lifted NAW up and everybody, okay? And said, we good, okay? We good. I'm not going to the Hall of Fame. I've never been an all-star, but I am a badass in this league. Again, 10 straight seasons with 20 or more points for CJ McCollum. And I think that came to an end this year in Atlanta. But as we know, he had a very, very good year with Atlanta too, but they spread the wealth a little bit more. Of course, he is the new villain of Madison Square Garden. I kind of knew this was going to be the answer, but I was like, we can't go the show without talking about CJ. We got to work him in here somehow. CJ McCollum's a bad mofo. Always has been. You can't be an MSG villain without being a bad mofo, okay? And if I were Samuel L. Jackson from Pulp Fiction, I'd spell it all out for you, but I'm just Rick Kamla on a family-centric podcast, okay? But CJ's always been tough. He's always been clutch. CJ took the smoke right at Jalen Brunson. What I loved, and you guys know I'm a huge Brunson fan, but what I loved is CJ coming downhill on Jalen Brunson, banging into him. They call him Big Body Brunson, right? Brunson's got a big upper body, rocked up, built like a football player. Is he a great defender? No, but he is strong as hell for a 6-foot guy. Very, very strong player, okay? He's got a great base, and he's got strong legs. Like, he works out, okay? And CJ McCollum was like, yeah, boom, 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 time after time after time. And I was like, that is playoff basketball. I love this. This is from this is like Hersey Hawkins back in 1994, Dwight Walton. I mean, I'm loving this stuff, right? Like Andrew Toney back in the early 80s, right? Like Get off me. I'm getting buckets out here. Okay. So
man.
I freaking loved it. And also, when you go Draymond to the junk of the Knicks' best player in his living room, think about this. CJ McCollum walked into Jalen Brunson's penthouse somewhere high above Manhattan and said, "Get up," and kicked him in the balls. That's what he did. It doesn't get more villain than that. So, yes. All right. Now, let's go. I want to go back to VJ.
Hold on, Rick.
Yeah,
I gotta say,
AM wanted to say
I gotta have one point. I don't know, Rick. I don't know if you saw it, heard it, or if we just glossed over it a little too quickly. But it makes me proud when my man Dwight Walton just brings in his time back in Yisrael and throws a little Yiddish out there. Use the word finagled. Dwight, did you even know you said it yourself? He finagled his way into being the leader in the clubhouse. And to anybody out there who doesn't know Yiddish, finagle isn't necessarily the nicest word. It's not like he was voted as captain. When you're finagling your way in somewhere, you're kind of a ganef, you're kind of a little thief. He finagled his way up to the top. Only a villain would do that. CJ, villain of MSG, baby.
Thank you, Am. Thank you.
I love it. All right, so Dwight, I want you to go first on this one, man. This is kind of like a creative debate, but I think you guys are going to like it. Okay, so VJ Edgecombe, and that was Doc's guy. That was Doc. I went Scoot. Doc went VJ. You went Kennard, Dwight, and AM went CJ for the breakout player. Okay, so I want to ask the question. Put a. I don't think we need a timer on this. We're in good shape time wise. For the rest of their career, who would you rather have, VJ Edgecombe or Con Knippel? Okay, I'm not bringing Dylan Harper in here. I'm not bringing Cooper Flagg in here. It's these two guys. Okay, it's these two guys. VJ Edgecombe, Con Knippel, rest of their career. You're on the clock. Who do you want? And let me give you the stats on VJ Edgecombe, because these are just unbelievable. Youngest player in NBA history with 30 points and 10 rebounds in a playoff game. Check. Okay. First rookie with 5 threes and 10 boards in a playoff game in NBA history. Okay. 30-point double-double in a playoff game. First time since Derrick Rose back in 2009. 30 and 10 in a playoff game for a rookie. First time since Tim Duncan did it in 1998. We have Derrick Rose and Tim Duncan. Somewhere Wilt has to be in there too. I don't know. There's got to be a Wilt stat somewhere in there, Dwight Walton. But Dwight, rest of their career, are you taking VJ or are you taking Con?
This is a tough one, man. This is a great question.
So good.
To me, bear with me. I think Con Knippel right now is the more polished offensive player. I think VJ Edgecombe is the more dynamic, more athletic, less consistent player right now. Shooting will always be a necessity in the NBA. Con will always have that. Con is a good athlete. He's a more than competent defender. He's a lot like Luke Kennard, to where he's more than just a shooter. I think he brings the total package offensively. He can definitely guard his position. He is strong as an ox. We need to give him credit for that. But just from the eye test, the athleticism, the explosivity, the definitely need to improve offensively, total package, the projection for VJ Edgecombe, I'm going to have to give it to VJ simply because we're seeing the worst of VJ right now. We are also seeing the worst of Con right now, but the uptick, the metrics for me just speak to VJ more than Con. And please, I am not disrespecting Con in any way, shape, or form. I'm just projecting what I see because, like my cousin said, it's Dwayne Wade, it's Donovan Mitchell. VJ Edgecombe has those traits, the metrics, the projection. Con is going to be consistently great throughout his career. No question about it. But the potential, the projection, and hopefully injury-free career for VJ Edgecombe is just too great for me to ignore. I think both will be great, but I'm going to give the edge reluctantly to VJ Edgecombe.
So Dwight, how do you spell explosivity?
EXPLOSIVITY.
Let's go! Let's go! I love it. You just won the spelling bee, man. I gotta look at. Is that in Merriam-Webster's dictionary? If it isn't, it should be.
Go and find out, my friend.
Phenomenal word. Absolutely phenomenal. AM Pfeffer, play GM, baby. Rest of their career. VJ or Con?
Okay, let's start from the baseline. Con Knipple is the rookie of the year. I don't want to hear about my man down in Dallas anymore. And by the way, deserving, amazing, incredible. What an absolute back and forth for the year. But of course, he was allowed to run amok, run wild when the team was going nowhere, when the players were off the team, when AD and Kyrie were all off the team and hurt and whatever. So ridiculous. Con was the third best player on an integral team that made it into the playoff. It made it into the the play-in game. Con was that good this year. He was not a rookie. Which is why he's rookie of the year. Having said that, having layered that in, who do I want moving forward for the rest of the career? I want VJ Edgecombe. He is the second coming of Dwayne Wade, number one. And number two is, it's all about last night. 30-10 on the road in Boston.
Yeah.
Con wilted 2 games, guys. He wilted when the lights were brightest. VJ rose to the rafters on the road against Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Mazzulla, Coach of the Year in Boston in his second playoff game. He put up 30-10. Give me that for the rest of the career. Unquestionably, give me the next coming of Dwayne Wade, please.
Wow. Okay, so we're 3 for 3 here. I thought we may get a Con. This is not a debate for me. And I like Con Knipple. I really do. I'm not dissing him. But for me, this is not debatable. Guys, I think I've said this a time or two, and interesting, tonight's the NFL draft, so this is as appropriate as it's ever going to be. I have a credo, okay? I'm big into mock drafting, and I love evaluating rookie classes. And I say this subjectively, I've proven it over decades. I'm an excellent talent evaluator. Talent evaluation is the baseline, the foundation of your home is a fantasy sports manager. You have to be able to evaluate talent. I mean, that's first and foremost. I mean, it's who you're picking on your team to go try to win, right? So I've gotten pretty good at it over the years. And I've got a credo, draft the freak, okay? I don't know if anybody else has this. Put it on a bumper sticker. You can put it on my Jeep outside. Draft the freak. Every time, without exception, okay? How many times in football do you see like a big time running back, maybe a Wisconsin running back, right? Amazing stats, great offensive line. They ran the ball 30 times a game, and he went to the combine and his metrics weren't good, right? Ran a 4.56, and some other athletic stuff wasn't great, right? And then you've got like the freakazoid. He's 225, runs a 4.37. Didn't really carry the ball a lot. He was in a crowded backfield at Auburn or whatever, right? I'm taking the freak. Okay, I don't care that you're going to the Wisconsin Football Hall of Fame. You may even go to the College Football Hall of Fame. I don't care, Ron Dane. I am taking the freak. Wow. Okay? He caught a stray. I didn't even mean it that. I could have gone
Ron Dane catching strays. Come on.
I could have gone Dwight, I could have gone Monty Ball too. I could have gone Monty Ball too. Come on, baby. Come on. I got this. Anyway,
draft Javon Curse 11 out of 11 times. draft.
Yes, exactly.
Yo,
Randy
that's
Moss,
crazy.
Warren Sapp.
Yes.
Dude, Randy Moss was like the 18th pick or something like that. What? They dissed Warren Sapp because he smoked a joint. What are we doing here?
You know what?
Remember,
Cam, not to go off topic here.
Yeah,
This is exactly why there are we understand how great Jeremiah Love is and has the potential to be, but you bring up Javon Curse, AM. This is why you have questions about drafting running backs early in the draft ahead of players that are going to have long, successful careers. I know we're off topic, but Ron Dane, all these guys, man, you cannot make that mistake at the top of the draft. Running backs only last 3 to 5 years at their peak. You got to make the right sustained draft pick. Jeremiah Love, you're great, but be careful, teams. Be careful.
I completely agree.
Knipple's the running back of the NBA in this scenario.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But guys, I'm going back to VJ, right? Think about like DK Metcalf, right? Bill Belichick's dumbass drafted N'Keal Harry over DK Metcalf. Bro, they should have fired him right then. Just, you're fired. Okay? By the way, he passed on A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
Okay? Deebo Samuel. DK Metcalf. I'm not done. And Scary Terry McLaurin.
Holy smokes, yeah.
And he took N'Keal Harry. And I told him not to. I did. I'm on record. Anyway. So like VJ Edgecombe, guys, has a Ja Morant explosivity to him. Okay, when there's a commercial that runs, it's one of the betting deals. And part of their highlight package is like young stars and stars who are undefined yet and all this stuff. Well, they have a VJ Edgecombe dunk in that commercial. And I'm telling you, gravity doesn't exist to this guy. Okay? Like he floats, he levitates. Dude, he leaves the ground and you need the guy on the tarmac with the cones and the pylons directing the pilot in. Like that's how high he gets up in the air and he stays up there for a while. He has some of the best jets and some of the best hops I've ever seen in my life. Okay. He is explosive. Think about it. He's a freak. He was a proven certified freak at the combine. That's why Daryl Morey took him as high as he did. 38.5 max vertical leap. I kind of can't believe it's 40, but oh well. I bet you at game speed it is 40, Dwight. And he was a phenom. All of his metrics and athletic stuff was just off the charts, and that's why he rose so much. To me, historically speaking, Con Knipple like equals, and this is a loose comparison, okay? Just go with me here. But Con Knipple's kind of like a Chris Mullen. All right. And to me, VJ Edgecombe is kind of like a Russell Westbrook, right? Kind of a 1/2, just a human dynamo. And he's going to be a badass in the league for a long, long, long time. And for Con, he's going to be just drilling shots and being just a really, really elite offensive player for a long, long time, just like Chris Mullen. All right. Let's move on to the Lakers and Rockets series, guys. And I want AM Pfeffer to go first here. I'm going to give you one stat as a setup. The question, is the Lakers-Rockets series already over? Okay. It's 2-0 Lakers. We know this. Game 3 and 4 are going to be in Houston. So I know, Dwight, Antonio Daniels would hate this question because I tried it with him and he batted it out of the air like Dikembe Mutombo blocking a shot. Cam, they've only played 2 games. Dwight, you heard it many, many, many times. Okay.
Yes.
But I like this question. Okay. And so we're going with it. All right. LeBron, and here's why we're asking this question. LeBron James is 32-0 with a 2-0 series lead. Unreal. 32 and bagel. Okay. That's why I ask AM Pfeffer, is this series already over?
No. And I appreciate what
Oh!
you're saying, and it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to go against that, but at some point, like everything in life, it's got to come to an end, and sometimes when it ends, it usually ends badly. So there'll be a 32-1 or a 34-1 at some point in LeBron's storied career if he continues it. It's got nothing to do with that. As amazing as that stat is, and as great as LeBron is in all of this, this is more about Houston. This is about their deficiencies. Are they ready to step up and actually start playing? Is Şengün ready to step up and do what he's supposed to do? Are Ime and Reed Shepherd ready to bury the hatchet 10 minutes? Come on, give me a break in game two. What is going on? This is Ime Udoka, who we sing this man's praises, how great of a coach he is and all of that, has done a horrific job in these first two games. And he hasn't had his team ready, and KD was ready to go, but didn't play in game one, and that pissed everybody off, and it fractured the locker room. And then game two, everybody expected the Rockets to come back and get the job done, and they just didn't. And you're letting Luke Kennard and Marcus Smart run wild from beyond the arc and do what they're doing. It doesn't make any sense. That's why this series is not over yet. Houston has not shown who they are or what they're capable of, and their stars have not come out to shine. Now, I don't know if Şengün can do it. This is why I was ready to move him for Giannis and have been all year from day one we ever had the argument. Defensively, he's a liability, and not just a liability at the wrong times, but at the most important times, like the playoffs. It's like Domantas Sabonis. It's the same thing. Offensive player off the charts when you like him, but defensively, you sometimes don't feel like he should even be on the floor. And that's what Şengün has looked like these first two games, right? And everybody else who's supposed to be doing what they're doing, especially KD in game two, isn't doing that, hasn't done it yet. And there's still opportunity for them to do it. That's why it's not over. But it don't look good. Let's just say it like that. It does not look good for the Rockets. In Houston, we had a problem before the playoffs. They were not the team that they showed otherwise they could be, even before the playoffs began. So I never expected them to go much further than this round anyway. But I wouldn't put this series over just yet.
Why, Walton, is this series already over?
This series is far from over. And the reason, and yes, you speak to that statistic, which is all over the place. If you follow LeBron James, if you follow the NBA, that is a well-documented statistic. But that was a young LeBron James. LeBron James is now 41 years old. Role players play better at home. I want to see Kevin Durant embrace the double teams that are going to be coming his way rather than sulking. He doesn't look happy that a second and sometimes third body is being thrown his way. LeBron James embraces the double team. He breathes life into his teammates. He still passes the ball to Jared Vanderbilt in the corner, although we understand that Jared Vanderbilt is being left open for a reason. Why does LeBron do that? Because you never know, Vanderbilt may make that one shot when it's needed. Kevin Durant, although the statistics are, it sounds sort of misleading. When Durant was double teamed, the Rockets were 6 for 11 from the floor, but it looked a lot worse. That being said, I just think Durant doesn't breathe life into his teammates the way LeBron does. Again, that being said, I fully expect Reed Shepherd to play better in Houston. The reason why Ime Udoka is not playing Reed Shepherd is because they hunt Reed Shepherd defensively. If he's not making shots, this is the conundrum with Reed. If he's not making shots, you can't have him on the floor, right? And that's what Ime Udoka has done. It's basically, if you make your first two shots, Reed, I'll keep you on the floor. If you don't, we can't work with you. You've also seen some of his teammates question the shot selection of Reed Shepherd. You see Kevin Durant demonstratively saying, dude, swing the rock, give the ball up. I think Reed Shepherd understands his role, basically saying, if I don't score, I'm not going to play. And if he's not making shots, he's not going to play. But I fully expect Reed Shepherd to play better, along with the role players of the Rockets to play better at home in Houston. Here's something I'm going to say. it is a must win for the Lakers on Friday night and not the Rockets. Because I fully believe if the Rockets win on Friday night, they're going to win on Sunday night. Then it's all squared. Home court is still in play. Game 5 becomes the pivotal game of this series. And we understand that teams that win Game 5 80% of the time go on to win the series. So I don't think this series is over. I think the Rockets are going to win both games in Houston, which is why I think the Lakers must win Game 3. If they win Game 3, they're going to win the series in 5 games. I don't see a sweep. The Lakers win on Friday, they will win it in 5 games. Does LeBron James have enough in the tank to lead this roster past the first round and the Houston Rockets? That remains to be seen. He is doing otherworldly things at the age of 41. We have to throw him his flowers, but we also have to commend the play of Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard, DeAndre Ayton, Rui Hachimura, Jackson Hayes. All these guys have done their jobs when they've come in. Jake LaRavia has been consistent defensively, but he's been grossly inconsistent offensively. Let's see how those role players now play in a hostile environment at the Toyota Center in Houston for games 3 and 4.
All right. I have a different answer. This series is over. I'm giving you a Jalen Brown throat slash. This series is over. Guys, the Rockets folded. You gotta know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. They folded their cards in game 1 with that stupid bullcrap with holding Kevin Durant out, getting cute, playing the long game. Oh, we can beat no Luka, no Reeves without KD. No, the hell you can't. And especially if you rule out Kevin Durant 2 days before the game, way different circumstance than ruling him out right before the game. And everybody on the team's like, oh shit, no KD tonight. It threw the whole thing off, dude. The Rockets, they were mystified out there. They had no clue. And obviously, the basketball gods went, all right, they should know by now not to tempt us. There's only been 8,000 examples of people tempting us, and 8,000 times we throw a lightning bolt out on them. Dummies. And what happened? They had a lightning bolt thrown down on them, okay? You can lose a series with one game. You can't. And that game 1, Rick Celebrini bullcrap cost the Rockets this series. The Rockets are a mess. You guys talked about it. Alpi Şengün and Tari Eason arguing on the bench. Alpi looks, I mean, you know I'm an Alpi Şengün guy, but my God, bro, he is a catastrophe on the defensive end. Like,
agreed,
bro, just give me effort. Like, do dumbass stuff, but like do it with force. He doesn't do it. He just stands around. Oh crap, I gave up another basket. Like, Alpi, you're making me look bad out here. It's getting tougher and tougher to back you up, okay? All right, let's get it together. You have Ime Udoka versus Reed Shepherd, and you guys did a great job of talking about all that. The Lakers, guys, I want to make this point. I have never seen Kevin Durant defended as well as he was in the second half of game 2. If you have another example, other than getting iced out by his own teammate, Russell Westbrook, back in the OKC days, but that's not defense, that's getting iced out. And Russ, I love you, but you iced out Kate. I do. You know Russ is my guy, but he iced out Kevin Durant way too much back in those OKC days. Yeah, remember all the possessions where Russ would be like, yeah, and he'd shoot it, and you'd be like, bro, that was a brick. And Kevin Durant's over here like, like this, like presenting, and you say, well, Kevin had a guy on him. That doesn't matter. It's never mattered that Kevin Durant had a guy on him. Problem is with the Lakers, they were sending 2 guys at him, okay, in the second half of game 2, and completely threw him off. And it wasn't just sending two at Kevin. They were like sending two at Kevin, and they were like this on him. They were like hawking him and completely like almost like if you have a swarm of bees around your head. Like he had no choice but to give up the rock. Okay. So applaud the Lakers on that. To me, my game ball for that game goes to Marcus Smart. And you could give it to Kennard, you could give it to LeBron James, and that's fine. My game ball would have gone to Marcus Smart in that game. Made shots, the defense was unbelievable, and I love that get for the Lakers. I didn't know that it was going to pay dividends like this in a game like that, but it did. All right, Kevin Durant in the second half, 3 points, 5 turnovers, 1 of 5 from the field. It's the worst he's ever played, okay? And I think it's because of the best defense just for like that half, right? He's played better defensive teams over the years, but for that half, I have not seen Kevin Durant defended that well. I don't care if the Rockets win game 3, which they probably will. The Lakers are eventually going to win this series. They're up 2-0, and the Rockets now have to win 4 of the next 5 games, right? Including probably game 5 and game 7 at LA. To me, the odds are just terribly, terribly stacked against them. Let's move on. And I do want a clock on this segment. Actually, no clock on this segment. We're good on time here. We have 2 more segments, guys. And then we're going to get to our rant. We got to talk about what Jaden McDaniels said, okay, about the Denver Defenders. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL draft, and then we're going to give you our rants. So, Jason and Kai, if you guys could please fire up Jaden McDaniels after game 2. All right, here we go.
Go out for Jokic, Jamal, all the bad defenders, Tim Hardaway, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, the whole team. Like, just go at it. They're all bad defenders. Yeah, they're all bad defenders.
So just to consider that, feels like you guys constantly react.
Yeah, just they don't got people that could defend the rim, and if he is there, we still more athletic than them, and just got to be able to finish when we do.
Is there a discipline involved in just staying in that attack mode?
Yeah, you gotta.
Works.
Yeah, just sometimes you gotta know when to attack and when the right moments, and just if it's your time to shoot it or pass it. But either way, if you just break the paint, you're gonna have a shot, or someone else is gonna be open.
Awesome. Thanks, Jaden.
All right. Good job, Jason and Kai. Good job. Okay, I'll go first on this one, guys. Did Jaden McDaniels mistakenly poke the bear? He definitely poked the bear. That's not the debate. This is in Merriam-Webster's dictionary for poking the bear. Okay, but was it a mistake? Did he mistakenly poke the bear? I say no, and here's why. We want rivalries, right? We want rivalries. We crave rivalries. We don't have enough of them. We're trying to make Detroit and Charlotte into a rivalry, right? You know what I'm saying? And it kind of is. Minnesota in Denver is a rivalry, okay? Guys, they have played, this blows my mind, they have played 30 times in the last 3 years. Think about that. How, right? Well, they've played in the playoffs 3 times in the last 4 years. That's how rivalries are born. That's how hate, disdain, dislike, chippiness, cheap shots, that's how it all happens. We're all here for it, right? Popcorn. The most viral highlights are not dunks. They're fights, okay? So we want players to talk shit and then back it up, right? I do. I love that stuff, okay? McDaniels is giving us everything we want and then some. He's being honest, swaggy, petty, competitive, fearless, and edgy. And I love it. When you are the heavy underdog like Minnesota is, and pardon my French here, but talk your shit. What do you have to lose, dude? What do you have to lose? If you are like, the in pole position and the front runner and now you're talking ish, probably not the right time, right? You're probably tempting the basketball gods. Jaden McDaniels isn't tempting basketball gods here. He's talking junk. And I like it. They're the heavy underdog. Gas up yourself. Gas up your teammates. Gas up your fan base. I mean, it's going to be rocking tonight in Game 3 at Target Center. I've been in there. And Minnesota, you guys know this by now. It is a fair weather fan base. It is. Okay? It is. I'm from there. Okay? Go to a Twins game. It's probably 11,500 people at a Twins game right now. Why? Because the Twins suck. Okay? But the Timberwolves are the hot ticket in town. That place is going to be feisty tonight. I'm telling you. So this is different to me than Grant Williams poking the bear with Jimmy Butler. That was not smart. That was a mistake. Because when you poke a scorer, he can erupt on you. McDaniels poked Denver's defense. What are they going to do about it? Defend harder? Send double teams at Jaden McDaniels to prove a point? Guard Jaden with more aggression? No, and no. None of those things are going to happen. This is barely even bulletin board material right now. This is basically media fodder in between games. Entertaining media fodder, I should say. I don't think Denver is getting a lot of juice out of what Jaden McDaniels said. Okay, now let's go to the ball player on our panel currently, Dwight Walton. Dwight, did Jaden McDaniels, because, we got to get the ball player perspective here. Did Jaden McDaniels mistakenly poke the bear?
You know what? I'll answer it this way. Do I like what he said in public? I'm not a fan of it. Okay, I understand that it's great for the media. See, as you said, for the fodder, for the discussion. It's great for our show. It's great for all the podcasters out there. It's great for all the major networks and their sports debates on radio and television. But I would have preferred this to have been kept in-house. I'm on record as saying the Minnesota Timberwolves PR department should keep the microphone away from Jaden McDaniels, because he is going to make these type of absolute comments, right? So now, in defense of Jaden McDaniels, was he lying? He's not lying about these guys not being great individual defenders, albeit I think Aaron Gordon is a very good individual defender. However, Dave Adelman, the head coach of the Nuggets, in his rebuttal did say, if you look at the metrics, if you look at the statistics, we're one of the better teams defensively in the NBA. We may not be great individually, but collectively, we get the job done defensively. So that's why this is not going to bother the Denver Nuggets, and it's not bulletin board material. That being said, the target is squarely on the chest, the back, the head, the shoes, the legs, whatever you want to say, on Jaden McDaniels. If you're poking the bear and calling out these guys in terms of being poor individual defenders, don't come out tonight and score 10 points or less. I want to see you go out there and score the basketball. Yes, you are known as a two-way player, a much improved offensive player, but you're known primarily for your defense. If you're going to talk trash about players and defensive prowess or lack thereof, you better go out there and be aggressive offensively and lead your team to a home victory and ultimately a 2-1 lead in this series. I know the Wolves are quote-unquote heavy underdogs, but I had this series going 7 to begin with. I think Denver ultimately wins it, but Jaden McDaniels didn't poke any bears. I just would have preferred that he keep his comments to himself, in-house. And again, I implore the PR department of the Timberwolves to keep the mic away from Jaden McDaniels, because he has a propensity of saying this type of stuff. But again, it's not going to bother the Nuggets. The Nuggets collectively are one of the better defensive teams in terms of the metrics and the statistics in the NBA.
All right, A.M. Pfeffer, did Jaden McDaniels mistakenly poke the bear?
Before I answer that question, Kai, Jason, can you pull up the video again? Can we hear it one more time? I need to hear it one more time.
It is great video.
Go out to Jokic, Jamal, all the bad defenders, Tim Hardaway, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, the whole team. Like, just go at them.
They're all bad defenders.
Yeah, they're all bad defenders.
So just to consider that the Tatum and the Johnson feels like you guys kind of something that happened.
Yeah, just they don't got people that could defend the rim, and
That's enough. That's enough, by the way. We're good. I'm gonna take a little different approach. You guys are gonna like this. And Dwight, I love it. You're laughing. And I'm so glad we heard it again because it was worthy of hearing it again. But you're so right about Jaden McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels is very calculating. Okay?
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Rick, he did not mistakenly poke the bear. What did he do right there? Look who he named as his top three. He went to Jokic, Jamal Murray, and did you hear the third name he said? Because he really brought in about 5 or 6 guys, and he did it purposely, but he threw one name in there on purpose.
Tim Hardaway
and he was
Jr.
the third. You're right, and that was the third guy he mentioned. Why did he mention Tim Hardaway Jr.? We're beyond the surface. I'm telling you, I'm going deep on this one. Why did he mention Tim Hardaway Jr.?
I'll answer. I think what happened in Detroit, I think there were either, I forget who he was playing for. If it was not Detroit, it was Miami, to where Eric Spoelstra didn't play him because of his lack of defensive prowess. That's what I think.
I like the answer, but that's not where I'm going with this. This
Okay.
is all about Keldon Johnson and Jaime Yanquez were 1-2 in the sixth man of the year voting. Who was 3 and 4? Tim Hardaway Jr. was 3, and Naz Reid was 4th. I think this was a fire lit under his team's ass. I really think Jaden McDaniels, the great calculating, put a mic in front of him and he's going to say something that has nothing to do with mistakenly poking the bear. This is backing up his boy Naz. This is firing up his own team. And he talked about Hardaway Jr. specifically right after the two superstars, Jokic and Murray, even before he named Cam Johnson and Aaron Gordon, right? Like out of nowhere, Tim Hardaway Jr. There you go. That's the answer. That's why he did it. He didn't mistakenly poke anything. This was the opposite of a mistake. This was super calculating, and I like the move.
Well done, AM.
Great angle. I'm buying what you're selling because nobody ever has talked about Tim Hardaway Jr.'s defense. It's never, ever been brought up because we all know Tim Hardaway was put on earth to be a streaky scorer because Tim Hardaway can hit you with a 1 out of 10. All right. Tim Hardaway has nights where it's like, bro, where's your game at? And then he has nights where he scores 27 and makes 8 threes. Okay. I like him. I thought it was a great get for Denver. You bring in Bruce Brown and THJ and Jonas, and I was like, they have a bench. Because last year they did not have a bench at all, and it was a huge problem for them. All right, so, okay, we've all answered that. Now, AM Pfeffer, so basically you won the last hole, like if we're golfing right now. So you have the honors here to tee off first on this hole. And just NFL draft. You have a big canvas in your warehouse. You got all the paint. You can get as dirty as you want. You can put paint all over your, go crazy. All right. What is your hottest? What exactly? What is your hottest NFL draft take? Because of course the NFL draft is tonight.
Okay, here's my hottest take. I'm more interested in the second round of this draft than I am in the first. And I think a lot of people should be. Yeah, because, and the reason being is because there's going to be about 6 to 8 names that slip into the second round that a lot of people would otherwise think were the bottom of the first. And that's where this draft gets interesting. Somewhere between 33 to 43 is the most interesting part of these drafts. When certain safeties, when certain when maybe an extra offensive tackle who you thought was going to be more at the bottom of this draft is slipping in. I mean, if you know the NFL and you know what's going on, there are no quarterbacks in this draft outside of Fernando Mendoza. Literally none that should be anywhere near the first or second round. They're all third, fourth, fifth rounders behind Mendoza. That's the case. Really, 4 offensive tackles that are coming out. There's 1 running back that matters. There are a bunch of good wide receivers, but questionable for all different reasons, right? You got a lot of good shutdown cornerbacks, but your best one missed all of last year with an injury. So there's interesting things going on here. So you really want to pay attention to the names that get to the top of the second round. You know, like does Caden Proctor slip into there? Brandon Siss, you know, does the linebacker, I'm forgetting his name, down in Georgia, does he slip into the second round? This is where it gets interesting. Seriously, like this is really where the money is made. The GM, if you're a GM, your money is made in that top 10. Do you trade into one of those picks? Do you trade out of one of those picks? Because somehow, some way, you're going to see a couple of, I'm not going to say that they're all pro, but you're definitely going to see some all-star type players, some Pro Bowl type players slip into that top 10. Watch out 3-4 years from now. We'll all go back and look at those slots.
All right. Great take, AM. I'm going to go next here. Going back to what I said, again, just objectively, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm a talent evaluator. It's just one of the things I do. And I'm a huge college football fantasy guy. Okay. I'll put it out there. I don't think there's a single person on earth who's better at college football fantasy than me. I've got a three-peat on my resume. I mean, look, I have a three-peat on my resume. Last year won a $100 cash league in a, like I played in a Power 5 league, and then I played, well, it's different now, but like the big boys, right? And then I played in a league where it was all of Division I, right? Like 150 schools or something like that. That's the one I want. Yes, I'm proud of that. Because it's difficult. You've got to know like the running back of Louisiana Tech and all this kind of stuff, right? So I'm big into this. I have bad news for NFL dynasty managers, and that's my forte in fantasy football. I play redraft leagues. I'm not crazy about them. They just don't really, I mean, like I will love ours, right? The X-Rated Sports Network, because it's all of us and we're boys and we're competitive and stuff. But anyway, I'm a huge dynasty guy. You draft them, they're yours, you groom them, you make trades, you draft, and try to go win chips. I do have one chip in the Cam Dynasty, but that was the first year. I think I've gone 3 now without a chip, so got to try to change that. Here's the problem. The 2026 rookie class is not really going to help us out very much on the offensive side of the ball. AM talked about it a little bit. I want to go into my dynasty rankings right here, and I'm not going to go all super in-depth here. There is one quarterback. One. It's going to be the first name pick tonight. He's not even at the damn draft. Fernando Mendoza is going to be hanging out with his family in Miami, okay? Next, I have Drew Aller, then Nussmeier, then Klubnik, then Beck, and I know what you're thinking. Where's Ty Simpson? How could he not be higher? Ty Simpson. I'm not going to say he sucks. That's strong. But I will say this. I was right about J.J. McCarthy. Flush.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was right about Will Levis. Flush. I could go on and on and on. I wasn't a big Josh Rosen fan. Flush. Seriously. I told y'all about Lamar Jackson, and I told y'all that Bill Polian needs to be put out to pasture. And guess what happened? They put him out to pasture. Remember that dumbass stuff? He needs to switch to tight end. Bro, what are you really saying? Right? Like, what is that, bro? I watched Lamar Jackson at Louisville.
No comments.
I mean, like, is Lamar Jackson Dan Marino or Matt Stafford? No. But Lamar Jackson can throw the rock, okay? 100%. The problem with Lamar Jackson is 3rd and 5 in the fourth quarter of a playoff game. That's the problem with Lamar Jackson. He gets the yips on those throws. He like pulls the string and they go low, and it's like, dude, just rip it. Just rip it. Like you, just rip it. But he doesn't. Anyway, there's one quarterback. There is one running back. One. Jeremiah Love. Absolute rock star. Ran a 4.36 in the combine. You have Mike Washington, ran a 4.33. You have Damon Claiborne, ran a 4.39. That's it. That's it. Okay? I'm obsessed with speed. Obsessed. Like, draft the freak, right? I want speed. Why? Speed finds the field. 4, 5, 6 in the 40 does not find the field. And there are exceptions. Kyron Williams of the Rams is a major exception of 40 time, because I will shame you for your 40 time. Kyron proved me wrong, okay? And the running backs they fall off the table. All right, Mike Washington, I have no idea. Not a first-round guy, maybe not even a second-round grade. Okay, it's not a good running back class. It's not a good quarterback class. There are some wide receivers, but it's not like, ooh, this wide receiver class is amazing. It's not that. You have Carnell Tate. You have Jordan Tyson. You have Mekhi Lemon. You have my guy, Casey Concepcion, who I like a lot. You have Brazel ran a 4.37. Omar Cooper of Indiana, I like him. He ran a 4.42. He's a slot guy. Slots are who I mess with in fantasy football because you get the PPR with the receps. Chris Bell looks good at a 4.44. Zachariah Branch is electric, 4.35. And I don't care about him getting in trouble at Athens. Every ball player gets busted in Athens, okay? I don't even know why they go back there. They do. Every single cop up there is looking for Georgia players and a reason to throw them in jail. It's literally unbelievable. You would think you would get the hometown hookup, okay? That's the hometown of the Georgia Bulldogs. That's where they live, where they play, where they practice, and yet the cops can't wait to incarcerate them. It makes no sense to me. It tells me that the Georgia AD is not greasing the chief of police. Okay? Give him some money. Make a donation. Buy him a basketball court. I don't damn know. Do something. I mean, they love busting Georgia players. Denzel Boston's looking good. She got 7 or 8 intriguing wide receivers. Mm-hmm. You have 1 tight end. 1. And I'm blanking on his first name. Is it Kadik? Or Kenyon.
Kenyon.
It's
Kenyon. He's at Oregon, though. He's at Oregon.
Yeah, the Oregon
Kenyon
kid.
Sadiq, yeah.
Kenyon Sadiq. Kenyon Sadiq is a freak. Okay?
Yes.
Huge rocked 100%. Up body. 4.39 in the 40. Mm-hmm. If you want to make usually the dumbass move of taking a tight end in the first round, just ask the Falcons with Kyle Pitts. I told him not to do it. They did it anyway. And he's starting to get his game together, but that was a horse bleep draft pick. 4th overall and a tight end? What are you thinking, bro? Anyway, Sadiq is a first-round tight end, okay? So what do you have? Essentially, you've got about 3 elite wide receivers, 1 elite tight end, 1 elite running back, and 1 elite quarterback. You have basically 6 or 7 really game-changing offensive players in a 7-round draft. That's not good. All right, Dwight Walton, give us your hottest take on the NFL draft.
Well, everybody knows that myself and 3D Dennis Scott are Dallas Cowboys fans, and leave it to Stephen Jones to give us the ultimate talking point going into this draft tonight. Now, what he said was the truth, but when you're speaking about a player that Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers willingly gave up because of his well-documented off the field, sometimes in the locker room, and even on the field histrionics, you don't poke the bear, as was said in the aforementioned segment. You don't poke George Pickens and basically tell him, we are not going to pay you going forward. Now, is that a test to see if George Pickens will play great football? Arguably was the Cowboys' best receiver last season, although CeeDee Lamb was there. Or are they setting themselves up to make a trade? And to your point, Rick, there are maybe 5 or 6 offensive players that are maybe can't miss in this first round. That remains to be seen. However, the Cowboys were an abomination. They were brutal. They were horrible last year defensively. Their focus should be on the defensive end. They were what? I want to say top 2 in all of the important categories. Offensively, you don't have to worry about that side of the football. Shore up the defensive side of the football. However, if the Cowboys go after a Jordan Tyson or Carlin Tate as wideouts, then we know they are moving on from George Pickens this season. Focus on the defensive backfield. Focus on a linebacker. Focus on strength up front. The way you protect your defensive backfield, you get a great front seven, and then you can definitely work on the backfield for the defense. That's where the Cowboys need to focus on. But my hot draft take is that leave it to Stephen Jones. It wasn't even Jerry. It was his son, Stephen, who made that comment. And now everybody and their grandmother is talking about the Cowboys as we approach this draft. Somehow, just imagine now, if the Cowboys do trade or draft a wide receiver and the Kansas City Chiefs end up with George Pickens. That's a reality. That may happen. That may happen tonight. That may happen in the coming months. We already know that A.J. Brown is going to end up in New England with the Patriots post June 1st. Let's see where George Pickens ends up. I hope that he shows maturity, blocks out the statements by Steven Jackson, and plays under the franchise tag for my beloved Cowboys. But I could see a divorce in sight. Let's see what happens. But I'm imploring the Cowboys, please focus on the defense. Draft defense. Draft players that will have prolonged careers on the defense. We already have enough offense. Please draft, focus on the defense. That's where you need help. Please.
You're clapping like Jason Garrett. I love that.
Bro, it's so funny.
That's where it came from.
It is so funny. It is so funny that you said that, because for years on Mad Dog Sports Radio, I actually like him on TV right now. I think he's good on NBC, but dude, I used to get on Jason. I used to call him the best clapper in the world. That was my nickname for Jason Garrett, because it didn't matter. It didn't matter. They go for it on fourth down. They eschew the field goal. They get stuffed. He's still just, yeah, we're good. We're good. Come on, we're good. The greatest clapper in the world. That guy right there, I'm telling you right now. You could have said, bro, your dog died. Your wife wants a divorce. Your child just flunked and has to miss a grade. Oh, by the way, there's going to be an IRS audit waiting for you in the spring. Okay? And he would have been, okay, all right, we got this. Okay, we can do this. Okay, yep, totally cool. Understood. All right, we got this. All right, anyway, all jokes aside, rant time. I'm going to go first. Did you guys hear the one about the cheap-ass and classless new owner of the Portland Trailblazers? Did you guys hear this joke? Okay.
Yes.
Poor Tiago Splitter. He says he's just trying to be a pro amid the team conducting a head coaching search while he's coaching in the playoffs. This is about the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Okay. And from time to time, I do evoke the great Mad Dog Chris Russo, okay? And it's not like I've been talking like this for years, right? But there's a parallel between me kind of losing it and Mad Dog losing it, okay? I think my takes are way better than Mad Dog. Mad Dog's gotta leave 1975. That would be my only advice to Mad Dog, because obviously he's got millions and millions of dollars. Bro, 1975, homie, was 50 years ago, bro. 50 years ago. Every take that he has is rooted in 1975. Okay. Anyway, it is. I mean, it's worked for him. But Splitter was given a raise off his assistant coaching salary. They negotiated contracts, but what they presented to him was far below a standard NBA head coaching salary. And so Tiago Splitter didn't sign it. And now he's in limbo, and he's probably not going to be the Blazers coach next year because of all this bull crap. This dummy, Tom Dundon, whatever his name is, should have already extended Coach Splitter. He should already know, and his team should already know, that he's coming back next year. What he has done in the fallout of the Chauncey Billups scandal is worthy of bringing him back for at least another year. But this Dundon guy doesn't understand all that. The Oregonian reported that Dundon wants to pay in the range of $1 million for a head coach. Bro, sell the team. Okay? You suck. You already suck at this. His goal is to run the organization like his NHL Carolina Hurricanes. This dummy actually thinks he can run an NBA team like an NHL team. Nice job, Adam. Oh, that's right, Adam Silver. Nice job. This blood is on your hands, Adam Silver. It's on your hands, okay? So on Sunday, the Rose Garden Report reported that as a part of cost-cutting measures, two-way players aren't going on the road. Team employees have to leave the hotel early to avoid late charges. It's like, bro, are you serious right now? This dummy thinks that he is saving money, but all he's doing is pissing off his most important employees, okay? Jake Fisher reports, Dundon has started speaking with 15 or 20 prospective candidates while his team is in the playoffs. This dummy has a quality team on the rise, yet he wants to hire a student driver to be the head coach next year. He wants to hire a student driver, bro. I always get out of the way of a student driver. I don't want to get banged into by some dumbass 17-year-old who doesn't know what he's doing yet, okay? Like me. I was that guy back in the day. I send my condolences to Portland Trail Blazers fans. I send my condolences to them. You deserve much better. I know you think Blazer Mania is returning. Not under this guy's watch. It ain't happening. When you have a dummy meddling owner like Vivek Ranadive, Mark Cuban before he got out of the way. Remember, he got out of the way. They instantly won a championship. Okay? Never forget that. And I love Mark Cuban, but he was in his team's way for a long time. Fines and pissing everybody off and calls and blah, 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 blah. But when you have a dummy owner like this, it creates organizational dysfunction and the whole house of cards crumbles from that. Answer me a question. Why would a free agent with leverage choose to play in Portland for that cheapskate, classless dummy in a market like Portland for a student driver head coach? Why? Why would you go there? Okay? The only reason you would go there is nobody else wants to pay me. They're the only team with money. Okay, screw it. I'll go to Portland and play for this asshat. Okay? It's the only way. This is on Adam Silver, who recently made comments defending Dundon. Adam, bro, what are you doing? Adam, you need to vet. I mean, every idea that's worth a shit comes from me. Here's another one. Adam Silver, you need to do a better job of vetting your owners. How did you guys, the Board of Governors, say, oh yeah, Tom Dundon, this is going to be a hit. I can't wait. Were you guys all partying? Was it 2 a.m.? Were you, dare I say, at Magic City? I mean, what's going on here? Okay. Dundon is a swing and a miss, guys. Hey. How's the Adelson group doing down in Dallas? How are they doing? It's a disaster. The NBA had to trick off a draft lottery to bail their asses out of the mess they got themselves into. Nice job, Adam. Nice job. Nice job. So I guess anybody with a few $1,000,000 laying around could buy an NBA team, okay? That's what they're telling us right now. You have $4.5 billion? Shoot, I don't care if you just got out of jail. I don't care if there's a long history of fraudulent business dealings. Do you have the money? Cool. Come on in. You're part of the Billionaire Boys Club, okay? I came up with some immediate upgrades over Tom Dundon. Adam Silver, I hope you're listening. I give you all your good ideas. Here's another one, okay? Immediate upgrades. Here are the candidates to replace Tom Dundon as the owner of the Portland Trail Blazers. Let's start with Tyrone Biggums. Okay? Let's continue on with Cheech and Chong. And then if that doesn't work, let's bring in Smokey and Craig from Friday. Why not? Smokey and Craig, the whole place would smell like pot, but they would do a better job of owning this team than Tom Dundon. Okay? Tommy Boy. That's right, the ghost of Chris Farley is Tommy Boy. Okay? And then almost last, Brick Tamland. Okay? You guys remember Brick Tamland?
Anchorman. reference?
Yes. Steve Carell's character. Remember, he'd go,
Yes.
I'm just yelling for no reason. Oh, my God, what a funny character, right? And finally, the final two candidates to take over for this asshat Tom Dundon is the law firm of Harold and Kumar. Okay? All of those candidates would be a gigantic upgrade over Tom Dundon. And you know what would be cool about Harold and Kumar? So in the second half, when an opposing player misses 2 free throws, you don't get chicken. You get White Castle. Okay?
Yeah,
Sign me up for that, baby. All right. AFF, you're next with your rant, my friend.
Oh, man, that was too good. Rick, that was too good. I loved all of that. I got to tell you, I'm sucked into the Vrabel story. Not the Vrabel and Rossini story. I'm not into the salaciousness, and I know that there were some new photos that emerged today, and I'm sure there'll be all ablaze on social media about all of this. But Vrabel, to me, is the story here, and I feel bad for Rossini ultimately, and we can talk about that as a total aside. But you know, she's really going to feel the brunt of this. A long storied career in media, and then I'm curious to see what her next couple of years look like and what she's got to do to pick up the pieces here. But this is more about Vrabel. This is more about the announcement that on the 3rd day of the draft, he's entering therapy. Not day 1, not day 2, but the 3rd day of the draft. And it had to be announced to the world that he's doing this. Mike Vrabel is a narcissist. It's very clear right now. And we need to see where this goes. I might sound like a jaded Jet fan, hoping that the Patriots falter. But here's a guy who somehow found his way out of Tennessee after so many really good years there. And everybody speaking about how great he was as a coach. And nobody understood why Tennessee would jettison him and why they would give up on him. And now he went to the Patriots and in 1 year turned it around and brought them to the Super Bowl. But I see this now clearly ending badly. Lead by example, going into therapy. And I'm not, who am I? Of course, this has nothing to do with therapy or what I feel like he's hiding behind in saying that he's entering therapy. Of course, therapy, and of course, mental health. That's not this conversation. This is a conversation about a guy who's mentioning it to the world. And probably with the rubber stamp of the NFL to, of course, always protect the shield. None of this feels good. None of this feels good as an NFL fan, but this goes on and on and on. This happens multiple times a year. Deshaun Watson, the list goes on and on. It never fails. And Vrabel has found himself in the middle of yet another scandal. And again, whatever the scandal is, however salacious you want to feel about him and Rossini cheating and what they did to their respective families and wives, it has nothing to do with that. It's that he's talking about going into therapy on day 3 of the draft. Why? What are the reasons? I want everybody to really think about where this is coming from and why. And a guy like Mike Vrabel saying what he did at the time that he did. It doesn't make any sense to me.
So I would love to just quickly chime in on this. You ask why. Why? Because I just looked this up. The New England Patriots have 2 4th, and obviously things could change with trades, but right now they have 2 4th-round picks, 1 5th-round pick, and 4 6th-round picks. They have 7 picks on day 3. Okay? I think it is complete and total bull crap that Mike Vrabel is leaving his team during the NFL draft. I don't understand it. I believe they're doing it, AM, for optics. Because I think they think we're going to be impressed by that. They think that Rick Camlin, Dwight Walton, big-time media members are going to be like, oh, look, wow, what a move. I'm so in. No, it's dumb.
Thank you.
Okay?
That was my first, yes.
And then here's another thing. I'm going to hit you with some serious cynicism right here, okay? Because, look, this is out in the open, okay? Mike Vrabel, with his comments, essentially admitted to having an affair, okay? Now, if he would have come out and said some different stuff, but the tone, what he said, I'm seeking counseling, that was all an admission of guilt, okay? And so, obviously, Rossini's story has been proven to be very wonky, right? And the Athletic was like, well, you pretty much lied to us, so bye. And you also have the journalistic integrity thing and all of that I understand. I don't think that she should be shamed completely out of a job in sports media. I do want to say that. I think this is a survivable situation for her. That's just my opinion, though, and I'm not stroking checks, okay? But Diana made a mistake. I think she was feeling herself overall a little bit too much, right? Some of the stuff she would say in interviews, very like cocky and pompous and arrogant, frankly. And so that all came back to bite her. But here's the cynicism. I don't believe that Mike Vrabel is seeking counseling for mental health. He's seeking counseling, again, Dwight, for optics. Also, he is seeking counseling to try to save his marriage. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He has a wife. Okay? Thinks wife's happy about this? Oh, hell no. Okay? He's bringing home the bacon times many, many millions. All right? But you still have holy matrimony. Okay? And he crapped on that. And so that's the cynicism here. This is optics. This is pleasing his wife. Do you guys really think Robert Kraft gives a damn that Mike Vrabel was cheating with somebody? I promise you he doesn't. I promise you he doesn't.
The point of this,
Robert Kraft employed a serial killer.
Yeah. It's the truth.
He had a serial killer on his team.
I did a poor job of bringing this around because I'm talking around the issue, but I agree with you. Rossini should not be shamed. That's really what I want to say. But in 1 second, she quit her job before the Athletic could fire her, right? And she put out the statement that she did. And Vrabel is effectively giving himself a slap on the wrist, the same way when a player is conduct detrimental to a team, they take him out for the first half of an important game when you're a superstar. That's what it is to miss the day 3 of the draft. That's how stupid this all is. That's how gross this all is what my point is as to why are you even doing this? And Mike Vrabel, of course, is not going to lose his job. Mike Vrabel is going to be given all of the usual accolades. This will blow over, and he's the head coach of the New England Patriots, one of 32 NFL franchises, the biggest thing on earth, right? So, and he brought them to the Super Bowl. But that's I'm saying, like, that's how ridiculous all of this is. And the way optics or not, the way he's treating it is a level of narcissism that is making sense as to why he was jettisoned out of Tennessee and why this is probably going to fall apart in the next couple of years in New England because guys like that can't help themselves. That's kind of the point.
And Rick, to your point, I'm glad you brought it up about the optics. You mentioned all of the draft picks that they have on day 3. It's like, to me, Mike Vrabel is telling the fans, the media, and whoever wants to listen, you know what? All of those draft picks are not important. My marriage is. I'm seeking counsel. I want to do this on day 3 when my presence should be there for the multitude of picks that we have on day 3. Those are inconsequential to me. I'm going to stay with my family. I'm trying to do right by my family. To me, with all due respect, this reeks of optics. That's all that is. Why pick day 3? You know what? You could have waited, again, with all due respect, you could have waited till Monday to do the counseling. Why Saturday?
Tell everybody it's day 3. I'm leaving on day 3.
Because it's not a story. If he checks into a rehab deal next week, it's kind of a story.
It's not a story.
But if he dips out on day 3 of the draft, it's a huge story. Going back to AM with the narcissistic thing, I completely agree with that.
Yeah. Just wait till Monday. People will understand. Wait till Monday.
Everybody would understand.
You have a job, and you know what? And listen, I'm gonna go there. This is. I try to stay away from it, but I'm gonna bring it up. I'm a black man, right? The way this is playing itself out, Mike Vrabel, with all due respect, again, he hasn't gone under the scrutiny nor the vitriol that the former Michigan head coach went under and what Ime Udoka went under. Mike Vrabel has seemed to have skirted this whole thing here, and all he's talking about is getting counseled on the 3rd day of a draft. To your point, Rick, his job is not in jeopardy. Yet, what is the head coach's name at Michigan? I forget his name. I'm sorry.
Sharon Moore.
He was
Sharon Moore. Yeah, Sharon Moore.
Sharon Moore was immediately fired. Ime Udoka, immediately fired. Mike Vrabel goes on with his life. So again,
great point.
As a black person, as a black man, the hypocrisy, the double standard is in full effect right here. It's wild to me. Mike Vrabel hasn't been scorned at all in this. At all. Diana Rossini has gotten all of it. And all Vrabel has to do is go to counseling on day 3 of the draft. With all due respect, give me a break. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he's not going to come to the defense of Rossini, even though he's got to protect his marriage and why he's doing this, and we understand the optics. Again, he's more than likely, and we'll see if he does, but he's not going to come to her defense, and he probably should, because obviously it's been clear that this goes back for years. This wasn't just one incident that happened recently. Now it's come to light that it has, but is he going to go to bat for her? No. He's just going to keep going on coaching in the NFL.
Indeed, man. Indeed. Well, AM, I'm so glad you went there because I think we all had some pretty excellent stuff to say. All right, Dwight Walton, I assume you have a rant outside of that. Hit us.
Yes, I do. Again, people know me as a basketball player. I have now turned to a referee. When I was a coach, people used to refer to me as 51% referee, 49% coach. And maybe this will prove people right with this rant. I've always said, and trust me, as a player, I used to complain and whine with the best of them. And over the course of time, I've obviously matured and I have my opinions now. But there's one thing I can say with 100% certainty. I never blamed the officials for a win nor a loss. I always held myself accountable when it came to officials. All that to say, Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, give it a rest, please. I understand that you already feel that you're in tough up against the Oklahoma City Thunder and that the officials don't need to, quote unquote, help them any more than you feel that they're being helped. But please, don't go to a post-game press conference and call out an official when you could have done more to help your team win. When you go into a game, before a game, during a game, and after a game, concerned about the officials, you've already lost. It is a loser's mentality. Yes, Devin Booker, you called out James Williams last night. Yes, Dylan Brooks, you're talking about it's the playoffs. It's a man's game. Swallow your whistle. Yes, officials aren't dumb, fellas. They understand the difference of allowing physical play rather than basically bowling people over. Dylan, I love you, my Canadian brother. I know you. You know me. But at the same time, when you're talking about allowing men to play, you got to be judicious about it. Don't go overboard. Just because you're making contact with somebody, it doesn't mean you're allowed to make contact with somebody. I hate it when I hear from players, I didn't mean to foul them. So why are you blowing the whistle? Well, whether you meant to or not, if you're out of defensive position, it's a foul. We could talk about SGA, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, all of the players that, to me, know how to draw fouls. Drawing fouls, as far as I'm concerned, is a skill. And there's a reason why certain players go to the free throw line more than others. Referees don't favor players because of how nice they are or who they are. The whole idea in basketball is to draw a foul. Draw attention to yourself. If you don't want to foul, don't foul. Certain players in the NBA know how to do it better than others. And when people complain about it, that just tells me You don't know how to do it. You don't like it. Boo hoo. Too bad. Stop blaming officials. Stop. It doesn't work. It's a loser's mentality. What I will say is that I do find it odd that everybody has a post-game press conference, but the officials don't. I would love to see the officials have to answer questions after games. I'll be on board with that. No question about it. But if you have to criticize officials, all it comes across to me is that you're lacking accountability and you want to blame somebody else for your misfortune. Stop focusing on the officials and worry about what you can do. Help your teammates win. Don't deflect blame because of your frustration, your lack of talent, your lack of winner's mentality when you're going up against a team that is clearly the favorite. Don't concern yourself with the with the three people in the gray jerseys. Do your job. Try to win. Don't look for something else to blame because you can't win. It bugs the hell out of me. It triggers me. It's a loser's mentality. Stay off of the officials.
Mic drop. All right, guys, we have reached the end of the line. We have three games tonight. We got the NFL draft tonight. We got a weekend full of ball. Peace and love, everybody. We want y'all to have a great weekend. Big thanks to CP the Fanchise for joining us. Check him out, Knicks Fan TV. On Monday, we have two guests. We have Ryan Hollins from the Houston Rockets. We also have Coach Chris Gopez. And it's going to be a huge show with all kinds of topics from the weekend of basketball. For Dr. X, for Dwight Walton, for A.M. Pfeffer, for Jason Arambulo, and Kai Josephson behind our glass, I am Rick Kamla. We love you. We appreciate you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, the X-Rated Sports Network YouTube channel. It's great. You can have all the episodes in full length, and there's shorts out there and all kinds of cool stuff. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, X-Rated Sports Network. We are out, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. Peace and love to you and the rest of the world.